Hello, everybody. We're just trying to get Tim into the show, is what the issue is currently. Um, Tim's having a hard time being able to log in since he doesn't have a Facebook anymore. What the heck? Not letting Tim in, y'all. It is giving Tim a hard time. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about this. We're trying to get Tim in right now. We're trying to get Tim in, but it's giving me a hard time. Let's see. I'm going to try to log in one more time and give him the code because for whatever reason it's his device that doesn't want to connect to the show. So hold on. Stand by, everybody. We would have to pay for the old program, and considering that I don't have a computer anymore, no, this is the only platform that would allow us to be able to use a mobile device. Now, I am getting a computer in the next couple weeks, so that won't be an issue anymore. But currently, tonight, it's the issue. Because he's saying either code isn't working, and which is weird because it should let him in, and it won't let him in using the guest invite link, because he has to have a Facebook or YouTube, but it's not accepting his YouTube. So that's an issue right now. Yeah, and we wanted to have this roundtable show tonight to talk about SVB Bank and all of those implications. Um, I hate to say it, we might even have to try to do it on Podbean or something. And Tim always seems to have this issue. I don't know what's up with his device but we're having an issue, guys. So we're gonna try to get to this. So just hold on quickly so that we can try to see if we can finagle something to work. Yeah, he said he's gonna try a new browser. So we might have to come up with a few other ideas in the future. I'm going to start researching more platforms and things that we can use because I want to have something reliable and solid. And lately, it just has not been as good as it's been recently. I know that's what I'm saying. He might have to create a Facebook account, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. So, hey, Dwayne, we're just waiting for Tim to get in here. He's having some trouble getting on the stream. So we're going to try to help him with that quickly. I wish I had another device that I could call him on even. Worst case scenario. Okay. We go get. I gotta go grab the email really quick. Okay. It generated the code this time, so hopefully it will let him in. But how would you be on air at the same time, Dwayne? You can't do that. If you're on StreamYard, it takes up your mic, so you wouldn't be. You'd have to have another device to call him on to make that work. But I have faith he's gonna get in now because it actually generated the code for him this time, where the other two times I had to generate the code. So fingers crossed, everybody. We'll just see Tim pop up in here in the guest, and we'll hear a nice little boop, and then he'll be here. That is all I can hope for. So, hello, everybody. There we go. Good deal. Welcome.
Hello.
Yay! It worked this time. I had faith. I was like, if it generated the code this time, I have faith.
Well, I have to take accountability here. I was trying to sign in. Oh, the echo thing's on. How do we turn it off? Maybe not.
In the more, and then in settings.
It's in settings.
And then audio. Yep, it's in on more. You see the 3 dots that says more.
No.
And then it should be settings. And then audio settings.
I know it's in here because I've seen it before.
It's on the bottom taskbar.
I see that.
You know where your video
is on settings.
Yeah.
Okay, now what?
Yep. And then it should be like audio.
Audio.
Settings.
Got it.
Settings. Yeah. Yep. And then it take off echo cancellation.
Take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yep.
Nope, I still hear myself in there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should just close the other browser.
The correct output?
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check. Yes, and let me see. Oh, maybe not. Well, yeah, no, it is. That's right. And this one is. Maybe I'll close the other browser.
That might be too.
Oh yeah, because you're echoing too. What a pain in my ass. Hang on a second. Sorry. Jesus. Let's try that.
We'll get it together tonight.
No. I still hear you, but I can deal with it. I don't know what they're hearing, though.
Let's see.
Are you guys hearing an echo? Are you guys hearing an echo? Are you guys hearing an echo? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, we hear that.
No. Okay. Now, hello. How about that?
Hello.
Yeah, is this a complaint department? Because your show sucks and I couldn't get on for 15 minutes. Hello.
Your show sucks. Yep.
I can call and help Tim. No, I don't think that's possible. I'm way beyond help.
It's not my end. It's Pen.
I don't hear it.
I wasn't doing before Tim came in.
I don't hear it. No. No mas. Yay. Okay. Well, something happened. Whatever.
I know.
Okay, that's it. I guess we can start the show after 15 minutes of messing around.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, but I have to confess, I was trying to log into the new. I didn't log in and then put the code in, or then put the email in and then the code. I did it without logging in, so I think that was my bad.
Okay. Yep.
So it's been so long since I've done this that I forgot.
True.
So what are you going to talk about? No, Scar is echoing. I don't know why.
We are going to talk about. Yeah, I know I'm echoing. I don't think.
Are you really?
As soon as Tim came in, I started echoing.
Well, I got that. Let me look at the audio again. Oh, nope. I checked it. Okay, now let's see what it does.
All right, let's see.
Hello?
Yay!
Okay, show's over. It was all technical difficulty.
We struggled so hard just for it to end.
Okay, I guess we can start now, right?
Now we can start. Tonight we're going to have a little roundtable show about the day of reckoning that did not come.
Yet.
Yes.
Oh, Pamela's in the chat room. I have to apologize to her. So she brought up the Trump messed around with the regulations for the Dodd-Franklin Act, and I corrected her by it was the Glass-Steagall Act. And she was correct. Clinton did the Glass-Steagall Act. None of them were good actions, but my apologies, Pamela. You were correct. I was wrong. Please forgive me. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, because you know what? Red had thought the same thing for a second, too, because she was like, I thought Clinton did bank regulations.
He did.
And,
99, but go ahead.
Yep, and then we looked it up, and it was Glass-Steagall. Now, this Dodd-Frank Act wasn't much better.
No.
The things that they did change were only beneficial to people in large corporations and banks. It did not help the average person in any shape or sense of the form. You know, it basically deregulated the amount of banks that had to perform stress tests to make sure that they would be solvent, so something like SVB wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which did happen.
It did, because they removed it. Because if they would have kept the level of 50 billion in assets, we had to do stress testing. They changed it to 250 billion. So a bank like SVB has not had to do a stress test in many years, because at the time they changed the law, they were even under 50 billion in assets. Now they're over. So they never had to provide the FDIC or the Federal Reserve with stress tests. And that's the biggest issue about that Dodd-Frank Act, that it basically allowed banks to do riskier leveraging. They said it would allow banks to lend people more money, but it also allowed these banks to be put in precarious situations.
No. What could possibly happen?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, what's wrong with checking to make sure you have enough money? Yeah. I mean, we all have to do it in our personal lives.
Yeah, we just don't get bailed out.
Exactly. That's the problem. And they want to call it a bailout. They don't want to call it a bailout, but that's what it is. What do you call it when you insure, basically, and are going to pay all the depositors' money, even up past the FDIC insurance? What do you call that? I call that a bailout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now the banks that have failed, there's what, 3 or 4 of them already?
Yep, there's quite a few already. Actually, the 2 main ones that they keep talking about are Synchronicity Bank and SVB. Now, the problem with SVB is so many corporations are tied into it, as well as Synchronicity Bank. Synchronicity Bank works with a lot of payroll providers.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Payroll. Who needs a check?
Yeah, who needs a job? Who needs checks?
Mm-mm.
You know, you shouldn't get. Who needs to get paid for the work that they do throughout the week?
Yeah, that was called COVID lockdown stimulus.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, now these people have to potentially, be put in tough spots, because Etsy, Shopify, if you have an account with them, you're not getting paid right now.
No. So did you do your intro and all that while you're trying to help me to get on? Or
I mean, no, I just kind of waited for you to come on. I think we were calling this the FRN Roundtable show.
No clarity after midnight introduction or nothing? Right? And you don't even have your camera on. Wow.
No, I don't.
I don't have my makeup on. I've been waiting for you, Tim, because you're fucking up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost,
correct.
It was my fault. I apologize.
I know. We'll get with it, though. I'm just trying to eat a quick snack, too, while we're doing this. And then...
Well, I would like to say a few things, and you can interject or whatever if you want to, but you already know this, and I beat it with the dead horse a million times. But I don't want to come out that it's I told you so. I really don't want to be right. But quite honestly, everybody, the reason why you're hearing my voice is because when this happened back in 2008, I got so pissed. And I did my homework. And I know, Scarlet, have you been doing your homework? Because I know you have, right?
Yes, I have, actually, because I remember 2008, and I remember the absolute just devastation, like my grandpa had mutual funds, and like that day he lost like $250,000. Like, it was sad.
Yeah. So when that happened, and just a quick story that really pissed me off. So I had I had two mortgages, a first and a second mortgage with my second house in Vegas, because they were so liberal. We didn't put nothing down on the down payment. And they go, oh, well, you can just listen to this. Okay. You can just finance your down payment. Okay. So there's two mortgages on the house, paid $300,000 for it in 2008. Okay. The meltdown happened. My house went down to $99,000. That's like a year later. But when I was having problems, I heard people say, if you contact your mortgage lender, I don't know if you heard this or you remember, but because it was 15 years ago, that if you contacted your mortgage lender, they would help you. Okay. And some did, to their credit. So I called my...
I do remember that.
Yeah. Okay. So I called my bank, and you probably heard this too. But this is what they told me. They go, get behind on your mortgage 90 days and then contact us and we'll help you. So I'm like, okay. So I did. I contacted them. They started sending me letters for pre-foreclosure. And no, I didn't lose it, Pamela. Almost, though. It went. That's where I'm getting at right now. It went into pre-foreclosure. I called the bank, and I'm not going to name them because I have a little bit of class and dignity, although they can fuck off, but whatever. So I called them, and they said, we can't help you. And I'm like, what? So now my credit's dinged. The house is in pre-foreclosure, and they did nothing more than file something with the city of North Las Vegas and put signs in the front yard, which somehow magically cost $14,000. So those are pretty expensive signs, I guess.
Yeah.
So we decided, my wife and I at the time decided to do the right thing, and we kept the house. Yeah. But then it was all downhill from there. So no, I didn't lose the house. We got it out of hock, $14,000 to get everything straight. And that did include the 3 months mortgage. So whatever. And penalties and interest and late fees and all the creative crap they come up with. But the house, I did have to short sale the house in my divorce, and it almost got back to the value that I paid for it, but we were still upside down. So, and that's what pissed me off. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I got a letter with a check. First, I had to fill out this application or form to the Federal Reserve, if I remember correctly, and Treasury Department, same difference, was one of the two, and told our story. And then they sent us $800, and they said, this is all you'll ever get from us, and we consider this a resolved issue. So they gave me $800 after all that. So that's what made me dive down this rabbit hole. And I got so pissed, I actually was on an email list from this guy named Scott something. I don't have it anymore because I don't have that email address anymore. And I was so pissed because he was on top of this kind of stuff. And I said, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to call it, and I just like the Red Pill Show. And I did. So that started this show, just so you guys know. And I've had my head in this financial crap technically since I was 27, but what we're talking about tonight, since 2008. So there you go.
Wow. That's amazing, though. I mean, it's something always brings everybody in, right?
Uh-huh.
There's your one moment that you're like, yep, no, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all in.
And then I would like to say this. So then I learned about silver and gold and the money system, if you want to call it that, and the currency and fractional reserve lending and everything. So I started buying physical silver and gold, which I accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And then in my divorce decree, I gave up all the assets and gave them to her. And I will bet you everything I have, which isn't a lot, that she don't have it anymore. So I was planning to survive another one of these 15 years ago. I would be protected and untouched for the most part. And I looked at Bitcoin in 2015. I think it was $500 a coin. So I have no doubt in my mind that if my life wasn't totally destroyed, I would be sitting very pretty right now. So whatever. Oh, Darren says the same thing. See? So we both got fucked. We both screwed the pooch. Are you still here?
I am still here.
Okay,
Sorry. Things were getting wild in my home for a moment.
Kids. You must have kids.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
God's gift.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could go all day long about this, but I just want you to know that I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And what I do know, it's not advice or anything like that, because I get a disclaimer here. I can only share what I've learned and what I know and what I've done and what I haven't done and what I'm currently doing. But this is a road less traveled here. And I'm going to say this and then let you take it, Scarlet, and I'll be the co-host. Not that I'm the host, but I just want to say this. The banks and everybody, Bloomberg, all financial mainstream media shows you're watching, is they're all saying that the confidence in the banking system has been damaged or hurt, and they need to assure us to get our confidence back. I beg to differ. I think people finally are catching on, and I'll even say it is the millennials or everybody else. And this is a compliment to you, that you're not as stupid as we are or were. And some people my age and even the generation before. I mean, I call myself a Gen X. I just got into that. I'm not a baby boomer, but all the previous generations that have been working since 16 and dealing with a bank, I think you guys see the man behind the curtain. And
Yep.
It's kind of,
I think so too.
Yeah. And that's what's going on. And it's like seeing a magician pull a rabbit out of his hat, but then you find like the skirt falls.
Well, when you watch, like, people have watched their parents and their grandparents go through these struggles before, a lot of people who are millennials are aware because they watch their family members or maybe their own family go under during that time.
Right. But the bankers to say this, and the Federal Reserve and all these, know-it-all financial people about confidence, it's not that. That's like watching a magician doing the old trick where you pull a rabbit out of a hat and you go, oh, that's so great and everything else, and he can do it, and this is awesome. But then one time he's on stage and the skirt falls off from the fucking table, and you see the rabbit under the table, and you're like, oh, no, don't worry about that. This, just be confident that I can really pull a rabbit out of my hat. No, you're not, asshole. It's all a game and it's all tricks. We see you. And I really, truly think that's what's going on right now.
You might be right.
I think, well, I'm not saying it's all of it, because some people are still stupid enough to believe that. But I really think people are starting to wake up and go, what's going on here? And,
True.
And they're being very
at least being curious about what's happening around them.
Yeah, and just educate yourself. That's all it's all about. Just read The Creature from Jekyll Island, and every time I saw something that I thought was interesting and got, my attention, I sent to you. And I don't know if you read it or watched it or whatever, but I'm like,
I watched a couple of the videos, but I didn't get to all of them today. Like, I watched the Bitcoin chick, and then
it's the Tricks Rabbit, Pam. the tricks are in it.
But
anyway,
we are in some serious straits right now. And I don't think people realize what we averted the other day, truly.
Right.
We've seen sell-offs all across the country. And foreign markets being affected as well.
The what? I'm sorry.
Foreign markets.
Oh, they're getting hammered. Yeah, Asia's like just getting, it's all in the red every time they open up.
Yeah, which should show people that, and a lot of them depend on our economy for their currencies. So that needs to show people that there's some serious danger.
Well, we have a really smart audience, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to ask this question to these ladies and gentlemen. I was going to say guys, but watch my pronouns, right? He, she,
no.
It, whatever. Oh, actually, I started watching Wednesday on Netflix. Have you seen it?
Did you? I have not yet.
You know what? It's eerily entertaining and magnetic. It's really, it drew me in because she's so dark and creepy, but she's so like direct, like I'm going to kill you, or you're just this, or you're just that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I hate this little girl. She's not little, 13 maybe.
Right.
I don't know if I hate her or I love her. I mean, it's really weird. So what?
That's interesting. I've heard a lot of people like it though.
Yeah, I just had to say that because I've been looking for something on Netflix, and I'm telling you, Wednesday, it's not my thing, but it got me in the first episode. So I don't know what that says about me. So Pamela, what? So what, Timmy? So what? Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy.
I know. People that only know me all my life call me that, and I don't care. I'm just saying. Okay.
Yep. CAS, Mexican peso going down. Yeah, everybody, all the currencies.
Well, it's all tied to the dollar, which is the reserve currency, which is pegged to, and that used to be gold, but I'm not even getting into that with the pronouns. Even
Australia dollar went down quite a bit.
It was a joke, Pamela. I was joking. What was I talking about now?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
I know I was talking about foreign market.
I said we got pretty stupid people in the audience. No, I said we have very smart listeners, right?
Correct.
Okay, so here we go. Question, yes or no? Oh, you know. Okay, good. I hope so. I already apologized to you.
Yeah, I know. Are you just going to dig yourself a grave on this show or what?
Hey, what else is new?
I don't know.
Unintended. Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. Everybody in the crowd here, whatever. Did you know whatever the do you even know what fractional reserve lending is, let alone that they can take your money that is now their property? I wish Bonnie was in here because she knows all about this shit. And
where's Bonnie at?
She's got to get her ass in here. And they can take whatever the fractional reserve lending is. Let's just say, it's 10-1. So they can take like 90%. If you put $100 in, they can take $90 and they can invest it in whatever they want.
Correct.
Yeah. How many of you knew that? Because I never knew that until I looked into it.
I knew that. Well, under my conspiracy hat, I had found out that banks like to trade our money after hours, and then they put the money back in the morning. Oh,
I didn't know it was that quick. Really?
Yeah. A lot of times they'll do short hedge bets to try to make money.
So they're going to the casino, basically.
Basically, yep. Yep.
I know I could win at blackjack. Just let me put it all down. Okay, sure. And then you lose it. That's pretty much what they did.
Yep. That's exactly how they do it.
Yeah.
They probably just hedged too many bets on something that didn't pan out. And then it started to cascade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the inner circle investors know what that breaking point was.
Well, you really know what triggered this failure, don't you? And you and I were talking about it every time it happened. The interest rate bumps.
True.
And I said like 2 ago, I go, that's it. It's going to crack. And then this final one, after a little bit of time, finally made it crack.
That is true too, though. And they're talking about 2 more price hikes of 0.25% points coming in the next couple months.
Casimiro heard of that. Okay, so yeah, that's why if you go to the bank, they don't have your money on deposit because they got it at the casino. So when people go to get their money, it's not there, and it's called a run on the bank, and that's why they shut it down because they don't have the money.
Yeah, you have to have your insolvency set up. So you can't just like you have your liquid assets and you have your capital. And they basically took their capital and liquid assets and bet them. So now they have nothing to cover their capital because all their liquid asset is tied up.
And you
can't do that.
You know what they bought with that money to invest it in?
Bupkis, nothing. Probably gold.
Pretty much. No, that would have been better. They under the pressure of the Fed or Treasury Department, which is the same, they were highly suggested to buy Treasury notes at like 1.5%. So the problem with that is that's in the bond market, which I don't know a lot about, but I've been paying attention ever since Friday night when this happened, that now bond rates are based on pretty much the interest rate, which is around 5.5-6% right now.
And Treasury yields over 20, 30, 10-year, and 2-year bets.
Correct. So when that goes up, when current yields go up on Treasury bonds for sale, the ones that people have at a lower rate are losing their ass. So they really lost it. And then they had to prematurely sell them because they didn't go to the maturity date, and they lost their ass even more because they had to recapitalize the customers' checking accounts that they took the money out to buy the bonds. That's how this happened.
Yeah. And see, normal people may not notice, but if you get like 10 people who have large bank accounts that want to move money on a day, that's when people will know. And I'm sure that's what happened and started the cascade of events.
Yep. I'll tell you what, Pamela, I don't think this is a party affiliated thing. This is all these assholes are in on it.
Everybody, both sides, because they all got their money in it and using these banks. I bet you we'll find Pelosi up in there. I bet you we'll find Republicans, because there was like 40 different companies that are under SVB that are well-known companies.
And a lot of them were tech.
They were, because of Silicon Valley. You know, at first they were a local lender. You know, they weren't like a traditional bank. They were a venture, basically they were a hedge fund that somehow got to become a bank.
Sounds like they got friends
in high places, because really, if you look at their structure, what they had, their programs that were set up, they were like a hedge fund. And so that's how they even got this far.
Well, listen, I told a couple guys at work at this today because we were talking about this because nobody really understands what's going on.
No, because it's like, you know what I mean? Because like a hedge fund is like a group of people who like use borrowed money, which would be like what everybody was doing to, you know, try to make big bets. And that's what they've been doing because they're a venture capitalist firm. And what are venture capitalists? They look for other people's money to invest. Yeah,
and charge them 50% to use it.
Correct.
Because I looked into it when I started my business. They went, well, we want 50% of return, 50% interest rate. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, to be a venture capitalist broker would be like the ultimate job. Like just go invest other people's money for a living.
Yeah. And you're screwing the people that are taking the risk, the innovators, because they're high risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. So when I was 27 years old, I wanted to learn about as much as finance as I could.
Yeah.
And one of the first books I read was by, you guys should write this down. You can still get it because it's out of print, but I found it on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe even half price books or a library. You might still have it in circulation. You know?
It's called Wealth Without Risk by Charles Givens. I read that when I was 27 years old.
Okay.
And there's a saying in there that he said, because it goes from auto insurance to mutual funds to life insurance to, which a
lot of people were talking about, and maybe we should have either Michael or Anthony Welty come on to talk about this, but they were talking about how to use whole life insurance to protect your assets.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting to talk about because it's a way that you can hold all your assets tax-free and other ways, and people can't just come snatch it from you.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a saying in there I'm going to share. This isn't me. Oh, you turn the camera on. Hello. So there's a saying that's in that book, and I got it right here. I'll pick it up and show it to you. I'll show you the book if you want. But there's a saying in there that he said, just remember this little rhyme or poem or whatever the fuck you want, saying you want to call it, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And he said, when interest rates are low, stocks will grow. Okay. Now, what's low and what's high? He said pretty much anything under 10% is low interest rate, and anything above 10's high. That's like 10's like zero. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And anything below that's low, and anything above that's high. And then when interest rates are high, stocks will die. So the management and investors of that bank, Silicon Valley Bank, who, mind you, are the smartest people on the planet, obviously didn't read that book. And that book saved my ass more than once and made me a lot of money. Because it's simple.
You have to, it's just like when you look at what happened to SVB, and if you look at like what the Dodd-Frank Act actually took away, it's common sense stuff. Like making sure your bank, if they lose money or have they literally took away the legal regulation to put out a what if scenario list. What is wrong with that? I mean, we do it in our own personal lives. What if I lose my job and don't have money? What if this happens? You know, we make plan B, C, D, E, E, F. Why wouldn't a bank be doing that? Like, they were just out there like the Wild West, just spending everybody's money, just doing whatever they wanted. And I'm sorry, but I want to know how that slipped past us. Because I feel like a ignorant person right now talking about this act that passed during Trump's administration that somehow just slipped past us and we didn't pay attention to. You know, I do feel really cheated about that. There must have been some bigger controversy going on at that time, to be honest. And that's what everybody's thinking about doing, Cass. No, because they say don't use term. I'll explain to you why that is true. You would want to use whole life insurance to put most of your money. Term can be taxed and taken from you. So whole life holds the whole policy until you need to cash it out.
Well, that's in that book, and he pretty much says if you just want death benefit insurance, get term. If you want to use it as an investment, you'll get like $100,000 death benefit, maybe whatever. But then all the other goes into investments. So.
And then you can even pass that down to your kids, and then keep it like in trust, and all of that. And you can also open up living trusts for houses. If your parents have homes, you want to do a living trust. These are things you can look into with people and do your own research, obviously. But that's my advice, because a lot of people don't realize, especially if your parent is on a state Medicaid program, if they have to get care, they will make your parents sell their home. You will lose. And so many people barely have any generational wealth anymore. In the ones that do have a lot. But that's how fiat currency is set up, though. So that the ones that have lots of money, and the ones that don't have none.
And it's all set up on debt.
Correct.
That's why we're in trouble.
It is why we're in trouble. And that's why Bitcoin and other things scare them, because remember, fiat currency is no more than something we agree is legal tender to pay debt. It could be whatever we want it to be. It could be chocolate. It could be salt. It could be toenails, whatever we choose. Like, that's the point of the day. And I think at some point we need to fight back as people. When we have certain people who don't even believe we should have rights or even get paid enough, but yet they bill themselves billable hours at $500 a pop, but we can't ask for $20, $30 an hour at remedial jobs. Like, let's make this make sense. If we can print as much money as we want and it's unlimited, why can't we ask for a few dollars to live? Like, I'm just having a hard time with that. And anybody who wants to argue that point that people shouldn't be getting $20 or $30 when they're doing $500, $1,000 for billable hours and sending invoices and shit, they can kiss my butt. Straight up. Because how come they don't take less to be paid then?
And that's barely a livable wage. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, like, honestly, you have to make $30 or $40 nowadays to just live like middle class like you did in the 90s. where you used to could live off $20 back then.
Yep. Not anymore.
You know, hell, you could spend $20 a week in the early 90s on groceries and feed your little family with enough, even if you were more on the poor side. Now you can't do that. You can't spend $20 a week. There's no way.
Maybe
You'd get maybe a milk, bread. I don't even know if you'd get lunch meat and cheese. Like, I don't even know if you'd get all 4 of those things.
Probably not.
For $20.
I go to the store just for me and it ain't jack shit and it's $60.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is rough, but yeah, we can't ask for more money, but they're getting paid more and more and more, moving to classes higher and higher and higher, having more elite shit, but we can't ask for more hours and money. Like, no, I think we should all start. They say it's going to disrupt the economy, but no, it won't. No, it won't. I'll tell you why. Because in the end, they're still going to pay themselves more no matter what. So it doesn't matter in the end. Because guess what? Even if we get a few more dollars, they're still going to get their higher bonuses. They're still going to find a way to pass the buck off. So I think we should fight as little peons for more money. I think everybody should. If we all came up as a group and said, no, minimum wage is $40, assholes. $40. Everybody gets $40 an hour. Kiss ass. We need it to live or else nobody can function anymore. And everybody fought back and went on like a work strike. They'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
They'd figure it out. It's just we don't fight, and everybody's like, no, you deserve to get $12 and work hard. And no, the tiers of jobs are not the same anymore. You can't level up the same way anymore.
I've seen it in my industry.
Yeah, you can't level up the same way. Like, yeah, because we were even looking at prices for salary. I mean, there's anywhere from $15 to $50 an hour that they're paying in your industry. And some even for the same skill level and skill sets.
That's a good tagline that TLO just came up with.
Yes, exactly. Pricing humans out of existence. Yes, true. Because that's what they're doing to us. Who can afford food? Who can afford anything anymore?
That should be Google's fucking new slogan.
It should be.
Or Microsoft or anybody.
Yeah, something. Because, I mean, let's really think about this. And then they get bailed out. And billions upon billions of dollars spent, but we can't get it. They cried so much about those stimulus checks that we all got, right? But yet we can bail out banks who made bad bets. We didn't make bad bets. We're just out here trying to live. Okay, so I don't think they should be rewarded for their stupidity. They should have never been allowed to function if they were that integral a part of the economy. That shit should have been regulated. And to be honest, fuck Trump for that. Fuck Trump for that, because, a lot of people said he was just in office to help his friends. Well, this act in particular is one way to show that, yeah, that was particularly that and nothing more. There is nothing about the repeal of the Dodd-Frank Act that would have helped anyone. Because all of this stuff was about insolvency and making sure that they had a backup plan. And yeah, you might have to pay for these risk assessments. But if you're that integral that you can literally collapse the economy, you should have some regulations. I'm sorry. If you're a non-factor player, okay, you're a non-factor player then. So yeah, some people might get burnt in the end. It'll be all right. But if you're that integral, whoop, no, there should be regulations, just because we cannot collapse world economies. It's not even just our economy. So many economies are based off of our economy that it would just be a domino effect straight to the slow burn. Nope, we can't do that.
They should have enforced regulations.
Yep, but Trump repealed them in 2018. So like I said, they were underneath regulations in 2018. SVB was. They made less than $50 billion, so they didn't have to check in with the FDIC and the Federal Reserve. Between 2018 and now, they've made up to almost $250 billion, but not enough to still check in, because the rules were changed to up to $250 billion was the new goalpost of when you had to start checking in. So that is literally how they weaseled their way, quadrupled their money in the last few years, and then crashed. And how many more banks are going to go like this? Or how many have already went like this, but we didn't even notice?
That's it. A lot of regional banks are under stress right now. And they say
because of this.
Right.
This type of betting. Because if you have less than 250 billion in assets, you wouldn't have to check in, so you can leverage any type of bets against your customers.
And that's why they're making the narrative of making it a confidence thing, because if people go get their money, then the banks that did their shitty investments, or even good ones, are going to have to sell them too soon. And then their balance sheet's going to look like shit. Then their stock's going to drop. And then that's when investors called people that had their money at Silicon Valley Bank, said, get your money out of that bank.
Yeah. I'm sure there was discords and group chats and everything else going like wildfire. And
that's what I love about the internet now, because different from 2008 and social media, as much as I hate it, but
true,
word's going to travel in real time.
Shot heard around the world instantly. That is the one thing that is different with the internet that people do have on their side. It's hard to hide things because the shot gets heard around the world instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it took months and years and weeks to get words out and papers and articles. No, it's there, but something's got to give, because the path that we're about to get on and that we're on right now, if people don't start thinking about what could this mean and start figuring out where all your accounts are tied to, start finding out if if you have retirement funds, annuities, see who they're banking with. Track it back, because I'm telling you, I think more people didn't realize that they were going to be affected. I can't tell you how many people have tried to pull money out of ATMs and not been able to.
You can deposit it.
Yeah, paychecks not being paid.
Yeah.
Full payrolls not being paid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's bad.
So I've been doing home.
Yeah, and they stole all the equity. Yeah, they told SVB and Synchronicity that they'll bail out the depositors, but they will not bail out the equity, and everybody loses their fucking equity. Like, what the fuck?
Well, guys, you can do your homework on this. When you put your money in their bank, it's not your money anymore. It's theirs legally. Mm-hmm. Legally. That's their asset, which I think is a debt on their side of the balance sheet somehow. But yeah, they can take your money and do whatever the fuck they want with it.
See, that's bullshit. They should be able to take our shit.
It's a bank. It's a bank. It's not a bank and then a casino. It's a bank.
They treat it like a casino.
I know, because it's not their money. They don't give a shit. And then
they don't.
They get bailed out because they can't. I read The Creature from Jekyll Island, and G. Edward Griffin said this. The government does not have a choice. They have to bail them out, even if they say they never will.
Yep. Because that's why Janet Yellen did that on Sunday. Remember, you and I were we've been texting back and forth since Friday, you guys, because we've been thinking about when to come on and how to talk about this, because we didn't want to shoot the gun too early. Mm-mm. Because we were waiting for the potential inevitable collapse all weekend, because the news broke Friday. Saturday, it got real juicy. Sunday, we get Janet Yellen coming out saying we're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave it. And then there was that secret Fed meeting that was supposed to be happening on Monday that everybody assumed was about SVB. She came out and said it's not about SVB and we're not doing anything about it. 5 hours later, she changes complete tune and says, actually, we have a plan now to work with SVB. And like I said, everybody loses their equity, and all stockholders lose their stock value.
Mm-hmm. Which they should, because if they invested in it, that's the risk you take. But the people,
right? But the equity people, damn! Like, what if you have a bank loan through them or something on your business, and you've paid in on this, and you've got equity, all your equity's gone? Like, ouch.
I heard on before I came here that two stories with the same woman. She went to pull her money out of the bank, Silicon Bank. She got it. Silicon Valley Bank. She went to deposit into JP Morgan to Chase, and they said, we'll accept it, but you're going to have to wait for like a week before the clear. Okay. Same woman gets some email or something from eToro. And you know what eToro is?
No, I don't.
It's a crypto exchange like Coinbase.
Oh, okay.
And they get their funding from Silicon Valley Bank. So this is how the dominoes are falling, and you don't even see them coming. Now it's creeping into the crypto market, and you locked up. Hello.
Right.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, I'm back.
You froze up. There you go.
I did freeze.
And that's just the beginning. I mean, the tentacles or dominoes or whatever visual or analogy you want to use. I don't
The
think
octopus, the hydra, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and I think it's just begun, and they're going to try everything they can do to suppress it and change her mind like Yellen did. I would really like to know who said what to her, because she
Somebody was saying some choice words to make her flip straight up.
that was the equivalency of let them eat cake.
It was, because at first they were like, you are on your own. And I bet you there was such a panic on the futures and other markets and in inside circles and Wall Street bros that shut that down immediately, because people were threatening all weekend to start pulling all their money out.
I heard a really good theory from this woman. I sent you a link. It's called IT something. I'll look it up in a minute.
Okay.
But she was just putting her spin on this. She's been doing financial crap forever, and she was on the dark side at one time and came over to us, to the peasants, to the public.
Oh yeah, to us peasants.
She found out. She's like, well, why would the government immediately bail these people out, this bank? And it turns out that a lot of the high tech companies have their business accounts in this bank.
Yes.
So anything over 250, because that's the FDIC insurance, which is now unlimited, I guess, but it was 250 before all the shit happened, and they would have lost all their money. So this woman brought up a really good point. She's like, why would the government do that? And she said this, because the government needs the tech companies to implement and start, same difference, the digital dollar system, the CBDC, what the fuck they're calling it now.
Yeah, it's because Synchronicity, one of the largest crypto banks.
What was affected too?
Yeah, Synchronicity, the other bank that they seized.
Yeah,
is a large crypto bank.
No, see, and I said this not that long ago, actually not even a week, that they're going after all the altcoins.
And all the altcoins lost money.
Yep, but Bitcoin didn't. I made $800 since this shit started just on having Bitcoin.
Woo-woo.
Yep, swear to God. And I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of money in there, so that's pretty good game.
I'd be cashing out my returns. I know that.
Well, this is what I'm doing. And Casimiro said this. He's like, I just might pull all my money out of the bank or just keep in there to pay bills. And this is what happened. So all this shit happened Friday afternoon.
Right.
And I go to Walmart to go shopping, and I have a Coinbase debit card, a Visa debit card. And in order to put money on there into USDC, which is a US dollar coin, digital coin, I can do it on my phone with the Coinbase app, and I do. And then I can pick what reward I get in percentage, and it goes anywhere from 4% if you use some certain altcoins to 1% if you use Bitcoin. And I changed it to Bitcoin 2-3 weeks ago, and I went to use this card at Walmart to fund my Coinbase card, and it popped up, and I sent it to Scarlet to show her, and I told her that it won't let me do it. It said that it's not going to let me do that, I guess, until the banks reopen or whatever. So that told me there's something going on. And this was Saturday, the day after. I go, there's something going on. And they're not telling us, of course, because I think they're all fucking freaking out. So I went home and I saved money for my bills at the end of the month, because I divide it by 4. This is what I do, and save it till the end of the month in the savings account. And then I transfer it to my checking account. And I pay my rent, my car payment, whatever. So all the money I had in savings, I took and I transferred it to my checking, and then I bought Bitcoin with it. So I'm keeping it. I'm not keeping it on the exchange. I have a hard wallet, cold wallet storage. So it's sitting right here. It's not sitting on the exchange. And since I did that, I'm swear to God to you, I made $800, not just because of the money I sent, but total Bitcoin. And I'm watching this thing in Bitcoin. I was showing you too, and you were watching Bloomberg Live, that was pretty much the only thing that was going up. Not even gold was going up that much.
No.
So I don't know what you're going to do, but I look at it this way, because it's like, well, you can lose your Bitcoin. Yeah, but you know what? If I do, that's on me. But if I leave it in the bank and these assholes confiscate it or I lose it, then it's on them and I'm shit out of luck. But I would rather take a chance on doing what I'm doing to retain my assets or my whatever you want.
Right. And I mean, for most people, if you have less than $250,000, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yep.
Honestly, because the FDIC insures it up to 250K. So, I mean, until you start hitting that $250,000 of asset mark with liquid asset at 250K, it shouldn't be an issue for most people. But for anybody trying to start a business or trying to have a diversified savings account, this starts to become an issue where you have it placed.
Right. And yes, Pamela, my crypto wallet's safe. So it's like a hard drive, but it has its own software. It's not web-based. I've had ones that were web-based. This has its own software, its own interconnecting cable. And then you need a password to get into the software. Then you need a password on the touchpad to get in the gizmo. And then you're in. And then when you're in, you can back it up to an SD microchip as many times as you want. So if somebody wants to get cute and steal my cold wallet, they're going to have to kill me or, interrogate me to get it. And they're not going to get the passwords. And I don't have them written down. And I can back it up and put 10 SD microchips anywhere I want. And all I got to do is go buy a brand new BC Vault and I'm good to go. So yes, it's very safe.
Which is a smart way to do things too, because the next thing will be stealing people's crypto out of the exchange. That'll be the next thing.
Oh yeah. And they're going to figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they're going to make it impossible for you to convert your Bitcoin into dollars, which is going to backfire because then people are just going to go, okay, fuck yeah, we'll go Bitcoin to Bitcoin, because Venezuela, that's their country's currency right now. So I'm not saying you're going to have to buy your shit from Venezuela, but they're going to push market. The more they attack Bitcoin and push it, the stronger it's going to get. So I'll be able to do, I know some vendors take Bitcoin. I know, I don't want to say Amazon, but I think, I can't remember some of these.
eBay does, I think.
Yeah, there's online vendors that accept it. So you'll find
there's a lot of websites.
Yeah.
Libertarian party website accepts Bitcoin.
And I know the state of Wyoming, which is 45 minutes from me, are very pro crypto. They got all kinds of legislation for using it in that state. So
Yeah, and we do have to be careful though about FedCoin and some of these other schemes.
Oh, I would
remember, in the end, it's all about what we create value in.
Well, yeah, which is almost like fiat. It's declared, but
Yep.
And all it is buy sell right now to see who's dumb enough to buy it and who's smart enough to sell it. And that's pretty much all that's going on right now. But they can wipe out all these altcoins. All they need to do is attack Ethereum, because almost all these altcoins are based on Ethereum. So if they fuck Ethereum, they fuck all the house of cards comes down, but they can't do it to Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's come too far to do it too, is all.
Well, it's just impossible. There's no way that they can manipulate it or get into it or anything. I mean,
they've stolen stuff from like Silk Road dude who had it in Bitcoin and all that. And
yeah, but he probably had it on the exchange. That's why you got to have it on your storage wallet.
that's true too.
Yeah.
And you'd think more businesses would be hip and keen to that though, but I don't know if they are.
Well, I want to talk about FTX a little bit, because Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, that guy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Kevin, whatever.
Yeah. He got burned by FTX. And that was very disappointing, because he's Mr. Wonderful. He knows it all. And he was dumb enough because he wasn't educated in how Bitcoin, I'm just sticking with Bitcoin, but crypto, how it
Are
works.
you talking about right now, Casimiro?
What? Who's Charlie Kirk? Sorry.
He's like a pundit, like, you know.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, well known.
But yeah, they can't do anything to Bitcoin except outlaw it, which, it's like gold. It's digital gold. It's the best way to explain it.
Yep.
And you got to treat it that way, and it works that way. So
well, and that's how everybody's been treating it. And so that's why, like I said, it's what you make out of it. Now, too many people are using it. It's gone too far across networks to try to rein it back in.
and the nice thing about Bitcoin is you can fund it on a crypto card or get a Bitcoin card. I know Max Kaiser and his wife Stacy has one, and it's in the Visa system, but it's in Bitcoin, not dollars.
Right.
So it's there, and the more they attack it and push it to try to destroy it, the more they're going to push people to it.
Well, because they're going to realize people have heard about it now for years.
Right.
It's not necessarily a very new concept like it was, let's say back like 2012, right?
Mhm. Right.
Which back then, it wasn't really worth anything.
No.
But people were really passionate about it.
No, and this is going to push.
And it was the way out, because if we don't want to be a part of their system, we have to create our own new systems.
And that's exactly it. If you don't want to be a part of the system, this is how you get out of the money matrix, if I could use that term. How to get out of the matrix for the money financial system is Bitcoin. And I strongly recommend you read the book, The Bitcoin Standard, and it will shed a whole new light on the subject for you.
Absolutely, because I think a lot of it has become really commercialized in some aspects, but if you just bring it back down to brass tacks,
Yep.
it doesn't have to be shiny and fancy.
No.
Like the crypto bros and all that. Like, yeah, you can make big money and do all that, but you're also hedging large bets. At the end of the day, it's gambling. You have to be careful. You have to do your research, and you have to be ready to lose some and put some in.
Yep. And it's a learning curve. I mean, this is not going to encourage people, but there's a learning curve on it. And when you transfer Bitcoin, let's say you have a Bitcoin wallet and then a Ethereum wallet. Okay. If you accidentally send Bitcoin to Ethereum wallet, whatever you send's gone. You could never get it back. And I did a $1,500 mistake doing that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not recently, but when I got into this, because I'm like, that I do a test. I'll send 20 and I'll make sure everything's jiving, and then I'll send like 500. But I don't really send more than 500 because of that reason.
I don't blame you.
No, I'm not gonna fuck.
You're never too poor to get into crypto, Pam. I mean, even Cash App has an option to buy crypto.
Well, yeah, you can do. This is what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I know you could do it on Robinhood, but I'm still concerned. Who the fuck owns Robinhood? I mean.
Yeah, they did try to hold everybody's stuff, but like I said, even Cash App lets you do, small Bitcoin purchases. And stuff.
Who owns them?
They have a bank that.
Bank, yeah.
Yeah, they have their own like bank account that they're using.
Well,
I don't think it was SVB.
This is what I do, Pamela. If you open up a Coinbase account and they crawl up your ass with the microscope because it's called Know Your User. So it used to be anonymity and it's not anymore. But you can invest automatically $10 a week if you want. I mean, you can invest whatever you want. I mean, think everybody can afford $10 a week. Barely.
I mean, if you put $5 in.
Something. Yeah, you can do
on a run that what we just had. You might have made quite a few bucks, like
because I think it's up 11% for the week.
Yeah,
I could tell you right now.
So it's like even with a very small, it has nothing to do with credit at all, Pam. Nope. It would just be
just your identity. That's it.
Yeah,
they want to know who the fuck you are. That's it.
That's it. And I mean, you can put small amounts, large amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, even just simple, starting with that.
Can you see that? It's up in the green. It's up 12%. That's what it says. I don't know if you can read that or not.
Yeah, okay, right now on Cash App, if you order from a restaurant with your from the Cash App app, you get 10% back in Bitcoin.
How much?
10% back in Bitcoin.
Where?
On Cash App.
Wow.
Yep.
That's really good.
Exactly. So it's like, yep.
So if you use your Cash App card to give you 10% of the purchase?
Earn 10% worth of Bitcoin on one order at any restaurant.
Well, at a restaurant. I might do that because I got a Cash App card. Wow.
Yeah, go into the app because they have it right now. It's good for 3 more days.
It's in the, okay. Here.
And I mean, see what I mean? So it's like things like that, even Pam, like that would be a way to just get a little bit. And then that's something that you could just watch, grow. I mean, just with a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
Even if you're gaining cents or a couple dollars, you're still gaining.
Yep. You're not losing. That's for damn sure.
No, exactly. So it's like, and basically that's like free Bitcoin. So it's like, it's not a bad deal either.
In your credit,
I think the max you could order was like $100 worth of food, but still, like even if you did like a normal food order, you're gonna get a few bucks back in crypto, like decent.
Well,
and I think a lot more companies will start doing deals like that.
Yeah.
And they do it. You can just buy it right on Cash App. Like I'm not saying that's the most safe way, but I mean if you're only putting like $5 or $10 into it, very low amounts of money.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm going to make a prediction. But first, Pam, real quick, your credit doesn't matter. It's just like opening up an account on E-Trade to buy stocks or Ameritrade. They don't care about your credit. They care about your money.
And you can send Bitcoin between people on Cash App too. So like, let's say you wanted to send me Bitcoin on Cash App, Tim. I could send you money in Bitcoin on Cash App.
Well, that's the thing about Bitcoin because you can do that on the Coinbase. You don't even need to have the same apps. It's like texting. It's the best example. You can text me Bitcoin. I can text it to you just by clicking a couple things and it's there. And it's there pretty quickly.
Right. But I'm just saying for the average person who knows nothing about Bitcoin, that's the easy way to get in.
Yes.
Until you learn more, you know what I mean? That's an easy way to have some in your,
yes.
And you can send it, to different people, spend it. And then you also can get a card that you can use at different places.
Yeah, well, here, you can answer this, Scarlet.
Yeah, I have a card, it says Scarlet on it.
Yeah, I got one too. Oh, wow, It says Scarlet. That's great.
So that's my Cash App. Y'all want to send me money? Cash App.
Scarlet, you can answer that for Pam.
Yes, you can, Pam. Anybody could do it. I mean, if you've got even a couple dollars, you could do it. They would, Bitcoin can be bought, even if you can't purchase a whole Bitcoin, you can purchase any denomination, even a 0.000010, you know what I mean, of a Bitcoin, whatever. If you wanted to invest a penny, it would give you how much that equivalent would be in Bitcoin.
And so it adds up. That's why I use my Coinbase for purchases because I'm getting one.
Do they give you cash back or deals or?
No, I buy whatever I buy at the time. I get 1% of Bitcoin at purchase, and it goes right into my account.
See?
Yeah.
That's why that Cash App deal is a good deal. You better get in on that, Tim.
10%? Shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to put that back in my wallet and start doing that at restaurants because I eat at restaurants.
Yeah, and they have different deals on the Bitcoin too. Like one of them one time was like at a specific restaurant. One of them was at like a retailer. Like they just got little different deals. And it's like, okay, just for stuff that you probably would already buy anyway.
And that pops up on the app?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't see it.
And a lot of them, like right now too, like, okay, like if you order something from a grocery store, any grocery store, if you use your Cash App card, you get 5% back.
Wow.
They have a bunch of different deals. Jack in the Box, you get 5% back. They had an AutoZone deal where you got like $5. Stuff like that. You got like, or 5%, 10% back at Jack in the Box, 10%, off here or there. Like there's some decent, and they do boost quite often. And you just got to look in your boost section on Cash App, and then you'll see whatever they're offering at the time.
Where the hell?
But that Bitcoin deal is only good for the next 3 days, so you better own it.
I better go start eating a lot.
Yeah, go eat at a restaurant.
Where the hell's Boost at?
Okay, so like when you look inside, it's under the Discover part, so you got to go to like the little magnifying glass.
Oh, okay.
Then scroll down on the magnifying glass. And then you see how it's like unlock the Drake pre-sale, then instant discounts with Cash Card. And then it's on there, and then you can invite friends to sign up. And they have exclusive offers with Cash App Pay, like even on fragrance. Wish.com, you can get 10% off.
Oh, I see it. 5% off Nike, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of shit in her.
And not everybody gets the same boost too. So you might not have the same boost as I at the same time either.
I don't see the restaurant one with the.
Yeah, to earn the 10% worth of Bitcoin on one order at any restaurant. Yeah.
No, I don't see it.
Sad. But maybe if you start
Buying Bitcoin. Well, I do have Bitcoin, but it ain't a lot. Wait, what happened to it? Wow. Huh. Did someone steal my Bitcoin? I did have some. I don't even see it. That's scary. Someone stole my Bitcoin.
what?
I don't know. I don't see it.
On your Cash App?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can put in your Bitcoin address though. And they show you the history of it. You can also buy Bitcoin for as little as $1. So Cash App makes you do it in dollar increments. So even you, Pam, if you even had just $1 or $2, could put, $1 or $2 every month or whenever you get a few extra bucks and just build a little, nest egg with that. And then if it goes up and has a big run like it did this weekend, you might have gained like $5.
I have 84 cents.
Yeah, so it's really easy though. They say whether you're an expert or just getting started, they show you the Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin services by Block Incorporated.
Who's that?
I don't know. We got to look into them.
Yeah, because the only concern I got is it sits on here, and you could take it here.
Okay, so Cash App Investing LLC, a subsidiary of Block Incorporated, does not trade cryptocurrency, but it's done through Cash App. They're not held by FDIC or SIPC. We may require a minimum amount to process withdrawals or deposits into or out of your Cash App wallet. Currently, there's a 5,000 Satoshi minimum for withdrawals. They say available to Square to sell to you. The ability of Square to purchase or transfer your virtual currency depends on third-party providers. They do have all of their terms of service if you would like to look at it. It's just right there on the website.
Like everybody reads that.
Yep. And they do verify your identity.
Yep.
To send or receive on Cash App.
Yep. Yes, we do.
So, I mean, honestly, but like I said, just for people to get into it, it's not a bad deal.
But if it was me, and I agree with you 100%, but if it was me, if I got like past $100,
yep, then you need to go transfer it with your Bitcoin address to one of those wallets.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, because you might lose it because that's how they're going to try to knock out Bitcoin is by attacking it through these exchanges.
Correct. Yep. But it's just a way to get yourself started and just learn how it works.
Yep.
Super simple. Because if you're already using Cash App, you kind of know how it works.
Yep.
So I would recommend to start in that place. And if you need a link for that, Pam, I could send it to you privately because there is ways when you have people join. If you don't have Cash App, I do believe you get a couple dollars for joining if you give somebody a referral link.
Cool. Yeah, Cash App's cool, man. When I need to send money, that's what I use. Pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you send me your phone or email, I think I can copy. Yeah, you get $10 if you don't already have it.
All right, so that's an hour and 20 minutes. So you want to kind of start concluding this about what you want to make predictions and what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, let me I just want to look at one little piece of information, right? So I haven't really checked anything in a little bit. So
it's an hour and 20.
Let's look front page.
Crazy.
I know it's been wild. I mean, it's been a wild ride this weekend.
Yeah.
What? Signature Bank faced criminal probe ahead of firm's collapse. That was updated 11 minutes ago.
Of course they are. I think that's a crypto bank, isn't it?
Yep. Bank of America gets more than $15 billion in deposits after SVB fails.
Yeah, all the bigger banks are going to become gigantic now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the narrative they're pushing because they're overcapitalized and nothing can happen. And it's yeah, okay.
Well, and Asian markets should be open right now. I don't know if you've checked those at all.
No, but I can open Bloomberg if I.
Yeah, open them really quick because I'd just be interested to see what's going on with them.
That's not bad for free, right? Bloomberg. I think it's pretty good.
No, Bloomberg's pretty decent. I mean, honestly,
Free, yeah. I didn't type live. They always try to get you to sign up if you just go to Bloomberg.com. Nope, that ain't right either. Let's see what happens here. No, it goes to Bloomberg.com. Damn it, I don't know.
I know. I just want the market update.
Well, I got it on my phone, I think.
Oh, let's look at Asia stock market. CNBC has it.
Oh, do they?
Here's stock indexes. Here you go. Shanghai, the Nikkei, the Shenzhen are all up. The Nifty,
Oh, okay.
the NZX, Malaysia, Taiwan, they're all up.
Okay.
US dollar in Japan is down. Oil's up, natural gas, copper up. Interesting. So, I mean, I think what they did is finagled a way to cover their butts and did enough deals and basically are trying to stop the next break before it happens again. Now, will that mean more legislation? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they just going to try to sweep this under the rug? I don't know.
Yes, I think so.
I think they're going to try to act like this never happened because they do not want to shake consumer confidence at this point.
No, it's all about confidence because people do a run on the banks. It's game over, and they're scared to death of that.
Right.
So
like
do whatever they can.
People need to start trying to think about diversifying, think about even precious metals, especially if you have an employer-funded IRA or 401k. You can turn it into a gold-backed one, and there are companies that let you hold the physical gold at your residence. As long as you're obviously not spending it before the age you're supposed to cash in on it, or tell them about it when you do it, but they let you hold the physical gold on your premise.
Nice.
So people looking into that too, who, maybe have, like I say, an employer funded account, you can turn that into gold back IRAs. So just look into those because they do have physical ones. They have ones that they keep it for you, but I wouldn't recommend that because how does that help you? But if they let you hold it at your home, let's say they ever collapse, well, it's yours now, ain't it? So that's something to think about as well. So I think people need to definitely be watching this because as we go through the next few months, if we have another hiccup like this, does the economy survive?
No.
It's already bad enough because we're trying to bet against inflation right now. And if we can't keep these banks under control, inflation's only going to go higher. As inflation goes higher, it's going to be harder for them to want to borrow money.
So I put a link in there in the chat room. You guys should watch that if it even works. I don't know if it's going to work.
It should work.
Yeah, try it. Well, here's the thing. The Fed's screwed because if they continue to raise rates, then this is going to keep happening because it's putting too much pressure on the entire financial system.
Nobody can survive at these rates.
I know. If they don't raise rates, inflation's going to keep going up and up and up. So they're going to have to make a choice. They either destroy the banking system and the economy, which they're not going to do, if they raise rates, or if they don't raise rates, they're going to have to deal with inflation. So I would probably bet on they're not going to raise rates anymore.
They said 2 more rate hikes within the next couple of weeks.
Well, then they're going to destroy everything.
Well, and we're already at what percentage point right now? Are we at 7?
No, it's like 4 point something or 5%, something like that.
So it's fallen a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll ask Google
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
to make sure.
Mortgage and refinance rates are about 6.5.
and down 6.61 on the 13th of February.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ouch. I paid 2.7%.
The federal funds rate is currently 4.5 to 4.75. Mortgages and that are different because they bump it up. The mortgage people bump it up.
But yes, that's only been based on the percentage increases that they've had. But if you think about what was and I'd be interested to know what our percentage rate was a year ago to now, because our mortgage percentage rates have went up triple.
Yeah. I think it was 1 to 2%. I mean, they were almost at zero at one point.
Yeah, wasn't it almost 0.5% for a while?
I think in 2021 or something, they were almost at zero.
Yeah, it was like almost 0.5%. And we've come so far now to be at 4%.
Yep.
You know, if they keep going higher and higher, compared to the previous rates, people are already paying 4 times more the rate.
Yeah, and that's why they're going to crush the housing market too. They keep raising rates. Well,
yes, who can afford the same house at 6% that people were getting at 2%?
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
But to fight inflation, based on what Paul Volcker did, and here's another name y'all should know, Peter Schiff. I don't know if you watched that one or not.
I didn't get to watch the Peter Schiff one, but yeah, I should watch that.
He's always right. Sad to say, he's always right. Watch anything on Peter Schiff and YouTube, because he said in 1980, when Paul Volcker was the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he had to bump up interest rates 6% higher than the inflation rate. So back then, the inflation rate was like 18%. So they had to they had to raise the rates to 24%. Could you imagine it?
We might be getting back to an 80s style situation again.
We definitely are.
You know, they said some of the losses were bigger than Black Monday, and some of the other larger, the Wall Street losses. And I don't think people realize that, like, lots of money was lost, as well as many things were shuffled around quickly. And how well were they shuffled? Because they didn't have a plan before, so now they come up with the magical Captain Save a Whole plan now.
Yeah,
That's what concerns me.
I think it was a more cover your ass thing.
I do too.
Contain it and distraction.
Yeah, well, calm everybody down, settle everybody's nerves.
Yep.
So that people aren't concerned and knocking our doors down by Monday.
Yep.
Which is today. And a lot of people have kind of, not been around to talk about it. That's why I've been wondering, that's why I said we'll come out with this once we kind of see what the fallout is and what the narrative is.
Yep.
That was the best way to go about it. They say that they're going to be firing all the bank executives.
Gee,
yeah. Basically, what they're going to be doing is taking over this bank and basically absorbing it under the federal government is what I'm understanding from what they've been saying.
Yep.
And that's also dangerous too, because we already have a central bank. So basically it'll be a branch of the central bank.
Well, be it receivership, and they'll take all the assets and crap. And then everybody that bought the stock and went to zero is fucked because they made a bad investment. But
and then you've got HSBC buying, the UK branch of it. So we've already had people interesting. Oh yeah, and then that thing tomorrow that you were talking about, Kit, or was that tonight? No, that's tomorrow, Wednesday, that video that I want to watch tomorrow.
Well, I think the shit's gonna hit the fan or start to on Friday. That's just my opinion.
It's going to take a second for this fallout to settle, because it upsets so many things that I don't think people understand. Like Fox Business showed a graphic real quick of how many companies were involved, and I didn't get to see it very well, but it was so many companies that this is going to have impact. It's not having public impact necessarily yet, because most people aren't affected by it. Most people aren't large business owners with millions of dollars and billions of dollars of assets. So, but as this trickles down to the average Joe Schmo, we're going to hear a lot more things this week. And I wonder if they're going to be able to keep it under control.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think the dust is nowhere settled in this at all. I still think
So
it's going up in the air still, actually.
I do too. So we're going to keep monitoring. That's why we came on. We didn't necessarily have like a plan because the narrative has also been ignored for the last couple of days too. They want this to die because the more people that keep talking about it, the more they're going to have to explain their actions, and that they don't want to do that right now.
Oh, it's going to be a dystopian freaking society, Pamela. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. If this actually plays out and keeps happening, and when interest rates keep rising, but yet nobody's getting paid more money, but yet everything is costing more. It costs more money to borrow money, it costs more money to do anything, go anywhere, and just live and function. This will get worse.
And that is what they want, Casimiro, because they want to hit the reset button and bring in their digital. Wait till they bring in the digital dollar. You're not going to be able to spend or save a penny without them knowing. And then they're going to throw in the carbon footprint horseshit with global warming. And they're going to go, oh, well, Tim, you filled up your car twice this week. So therefore, you're only going to get so many U.S.
You can only have this much money for the rest of the week to buy gas.
Exactly. And that they're going to have you buy the balls to make it conform. That's
right. And then there's going to be underground gas smugglers and, all types of stuff. It's going to be, that's why we need to protect our ways of exchange, even if we have to go back to bartering.
That's what it's going to do. Bartering, Bitcoin, gold, silver, and guns.
Yep. Or services.
Right. Yeah. But
services will work if you know how to do something for someone.
You're going to be a millionaire, or you'll survive for sure.
Yeah, you will survive because you will be a valuable asset.
Well,
that's going to be the only way.
I'm going to keep my eye on Bitcoin in general, not just the price, because I want to see that piqued my interest that Cash App is doing that. I want to see how many more people, and they won't cover it on mainstream media or even the financial markets and the Bloomberg and Fox Business Network and CNBC. I want to see how many people are going to start accepting Bitcoin. I'm going to predict it's going to be more.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Darren says lots of bartering. And that's interesting because let's think about it. In Darren's area, things have went up extremely high. There's a housing crisis. Food products and other things already cost an astronomical amount. So, yeah, probably a lot of people have went to bartering. If you've got something that you could trade somebody else, it's usually more valuable than actually you going out and buying it at this point.
I just saw Argentina's inflation rates up to 100%.
Oh.
Yeah, can you imagine?
No, but we're getting close on certain products already, though. Like, you look at even like condiments in the store or in meat. You used to be able to get ground beef like $2.99, $1.99 a pound.
Yep.
You're lucky if you get it for $5.49 a pound now.
It's 100%, right?
That's 100%. Yep. You start looking at condiments. I've noticed even ketchup, mustard, these type of things. Just simple things have went up double. So even just staples like bread and, simple things. That's why I shop at Aldi only, because Aldi has kept their prices low and they have some of the lowest prices around.
Then how can the government say today, in fact, that the CPI is 6%?
Yeah, bullshit.
I know. What, for the month or the day?
Yeah, and who can spend all this money and who's making all this money to spend? Because the people I know, I'm sure there are people out here who have decent jobs who make wealthy money, but I don't know these people. So where do all these people exist?
In Washington, D.C.
Or around somewhere, like this very small group of elite people, because for the majority of people, most people are living barely paycheck to paycheck, barely making it, just squeaking by. And especially now, everything costs more. Gas costs more. Food costs more. Goods cost more. If you've got animals, feed costs more. Everything costs more. There's not one area that I could think of that has stayed steady.
Well, Dwayne will like this one because he calls it my God complex. But here's my prediction. The Fed's not going to raise rates anymore, because if they do, they're going to destroy everything. And they're not ready to destroy the system until they're ready to destroy the system.
Well, maybe they are ready. How do we know that?
Because
They were talking about at least stopping the quantitative tapering.
that it would have happened, I know, and that backfired too. So that they're going to have to print more money and do quantitative easing again. But
Yeah.
But this would have been a great time to do it. I don't think this was intended. I think this was a casualty, and it slipped through the cracks with what you were saying, the deregulation, and nobody was paying attention. And Kramer from CNBC, like a couple weeks ago, highly recommended a buy on this stock. So I would watch.
Yep, because it was like $300 a pop at the time, I guess.
Exactly. Yep.
And he told everybody SVB was the one to buy and all this other shit. And I'm sure people did on his recommendation. And then now have lost a lot of money and lose their whole investment.
That guy told me 15 years ago, not me, everybody on a show, not to buy Apple stock because it was bad, bad, bad. So I sold it and it immediately went up like 30, 40%. I'm like, fuck. So that's the last time I listened to that guy. I think that guy's full of shit.
He really is, though. He's just a corporate puppet, I do believe.
He's a clown for entertainment that makes investing a game show with this little sound effect.
Exactly. And that's not what investing is about. If you make good bets and hedge good bets, there is money to be made. It is a gamble, but there also is a formula to it too. Usually it just doesn't come out of nowhere.
Buy low and sell high. That's it. That's all you got to do.
That's it. Exactly.
So they're
and you got to know the right time to buy and sell too. You don't want to do it too early, and you don't want to wait too late.
Nope. So they're not going to raise rates. So that means inflation is going to continue to stay where it is, or it's going to keep going, guys. That's just do your homework on, like even Peter Schiff, do your homework on this stuff, because that's exactly what's going to happen. They're raising rates to fight inflation, which they caused in the first place by printing too much money and giving everybody stimulus checks for not working. So,
well, yeah, that too. But like I said, if we would not give money to Ukraine, that would have covered all the stimulus checks and then some.
Yeah. Well, Julie Green says the hammer's coming down with that because we're sending money to Ukraine for not the reasons that you think. That's what she.
Here's the deal too. At the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, how is this any different from Afghanistan?
We haven't left all
bringing in all the equipment, putting all this money in. Yep. How is that any different? And how is it not going to end up with the same results?
It's funny you say that, because Biden said when he came on Monday morning yesterday, I don't know if you heard it live.
No, I didn't.
No, he pretty much said everything's fine, blah, 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 blah. And he said, and you said this, they're going to fire all the management at the bank because of their poor decisions. Okay. So why doesn't Biden get fired for leaving billions of dollars of military shit in Afghanistan? Because that ain't free.
Like, nobody thought about how to get that shit out. We just dropped it all off and we're like, oh, fuck it. We'll never think of a way to get it out. Well, that's basically what they admitted in the end.
Whoever brought it there should pay half, and Biden should pay half for not bringing it back. I mean, I think that's fair.
They should have never put that much stuff over there if they could have never retrieved it, or they should have had a way to dismantle it so that it could not be used against anyone else.
Yeah, but then
there's a way to take, important mechanisms and parts that you wouldn't know what to put back. You know what I mean? It's not hard to decommission something. Why would you leave all that stuff there?
It doesn't make sense because they didn't pay for it. I mean, you'll have the IRS crawl up your ass for not claiming $20 on your tax return, but he can leave billions of dollars of shit in Afghanistan and nothing happens.
That's what I mean. And that was during his administration with Obama too. So let's go there. Yeah. First Bush was the one, but all the other administrations just never thought about all of that equipment, everything we were leaving over there, all of that potential intelligence, etc. And now we're doing it again.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
I had a friend that's a Vietnam vet, and he said we did the same thing in Vietnam. We left all our shit there. I'm like,
that's what I mean. We just leave all our shit and then they take it over, and then we wonder why they come back after us because we left them all our shit.
Yeah, they're gonna attack us with our weapons that we fucking.
But we gotta pay for it though. But we can't get no extra money. We gotta get yelled at about stimulus checks. Like,
yep.
Come on now. Like, that's what I'm saying. They want everybody to get mad at each other over these. We deserve them checks. Them checks are our money. Taxation and stuff. They take our money all the time. And we don't think we should deserve something back. It wasn't that many billions. I think it was like, what was it? Like 175 million it ended up being for everybody's checks.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that ain't bad. We didn't give 175 billion to Ukraine 4 times. Like, how much could that have helped everybody here if we can come up with money for that?
Exactly.
We could have brought some of them over here to live. Shoot.
Well,
with that kind of money.
We've said this before. You better have a survival strategy, but now this is more on the monetary side. I mean,
well, yeah, it is like, what do you do? Because like, if they take away your paycheck, if they start taking away things like how you get paid, like if you don't have an account set up for yourself, what are you going to do? You can't just survive. Like, it's not how things work. Like, you still have bills to pay, you know, like it's going to be a dangerous time for people, especially if you don't have credit or if you don't have other ways to try to cover yourself in the meanwhile. It's going to be a dangerous new world where, like I say, the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get more poor. And it's going to become more desperate. It really is. I see it.
This has all happened to us. Okay. You give someone a credit card, whether you pay for dinner or whatever, and it's declined, you know, then you give them another card and go, okay, yeah, that one worked. Well, okay. Or you go to Walmart and your ATM card declined for whatever reason, and then use a different one and it works. Okay. So you always get out of that situation. Now, just imagine every single time you use that card, it's going to be declined.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What would you do if you can't take it to an ATM or go to a physical location to pull out cash, or cash doesn't exist? What would you do?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to beg somebody to cover it for you, or I don't even know if they'll give you an option.
Yeah. What do you do? I mean, what's your backup plan? You can't pull out another card because they're all going to be locked down.
Yeah. Especially if they base this off of like social credit scores.
Oh, the ESG and all that crap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, like they could base it off social media posts or what you say or your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could be dangerous. Now, for some people, could that necessarily be beneficial? Maybe, depending on their actions. Could it help in certain situations? I'm sure it could. But for the general majority of people who aren't going out and like, you know, messing with people, I don't think it's going to benefit us. It's only going to harm the average person trying to go out, get food for their family, go to the store, buy something new for their home, whatever it is. But they can prevent you from literally doing anything at that point. Once they have that control of our wallets, because, you know, people always say, vote with your dollars. Well, if we don't have dollars to vote, what are we going to do?
Yep. Well, I'm going to ask all of you is take this weekend and just watch anything you can and type this bank, Silicon Valley Bank failure, and everything that pops up, and watch it. Watch as much as you can about this stuff because it's not going away.
No, and as many pundits and people that have come out talking about it since it's occurred, even if you don't understand banking, you can understand and appreciate that something is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we said, we don't know exactly who the players were or how this occurred. And we'll probably find out with a federal investigation. And even then, we don't know if we'll ever know.
No, you won't. You won't know the truth.
There might be a movie about it one day, or some people come out and whistleblow or something, which there might be.
You know that movie that guy made, and it was the only one that bet against, or he bet that the mortgage industry was going to fail and cause 2008 meltdown. That guy, there's a movie about it. They had him on an interview today, and he couldn't exactly nail it down, but he said the Federal Reserve broke something in the system. He just doesn't know what the something is yet.
See, that's what I'm saying. Something happened and I feel it. Like, but since we're not like on the inner circle, we don't know what that is. Right. And they do a really good job of keeping information from people who aren't in the inner circle. But that's what I exactly think is happening right now. So if he thinks that, I'm telling you, something happened, a chain of events occurred that then set up a larger chain of events that then led to what happened Friday. And then, but what that is, or how that occurred, or how we got to that point, or who else is involved that they're covering up for that we just don't know about yet that's unsolved. That's why I think over the next week, we're going to start to find the true fallout of what's going to happen. And so we just got to follow it, pay attention.
One thing I also want to add to everybody out there, be prepared this week for some severe weathers. So we need to be prepared. Both coasts, Dixie. Northeast is getting slammed right now with the nor'easter. So they're getting their taste right now. But everybody needs to be ready with that too, because I mean, what if this stuff starts to happen before, events? What if, like, let's say a hurricane's coming or something, and you can't access your money to get out of town or get supplies or get plywood or whatever it may be?
You're screwing
This could start becoming deadly and dangerous. What if you're a new mom with a baby who needs formula, and you go to the store and you want to swipe your card to get baby formula and you can't?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, this could seriously start just killing people and just taking folks out.
If I was a listener and listening to this, whether you've been a fan for a while or just newly acquired or for the first time, I would pay attention to what we're saying and give it pause and do your homework, because you know what this reminds me of, Scarlett? The day COVID-19 happened.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is we're almost to the day that nationwide lockdown started happening. Almost to the day.
Yeah.
So, right now, the number one thing I can say for most people, put away food, put away food, put away food. As much as you can store, as much as you can afford, try to get, if you even just get a few cans extra of everything, instead of buying 2 cans of corn, you buy 3, you put 1 up. That type of deal, you will eventually get a nice little storage, but everybody needs to have that cushion to fall back on. Because what if your card doesn't work? Have extra medicines in the house that you may need. Most insurances will let you get a 3-month supply at a time. You might want to do that. Just be prepared, because any bank, because of the way this works, could be doing this. Oh, what's up, Red? What's up, Red?
And if you do buy food, be careful shoving it in your freezer, because I'm going to make another prediction. There's going to be nationwide rolling blackouts. And that's for a couple hours, because everybody's plugged it in their fucking Tesla car and the grid can't take it. So
yes, and if these capacitors go down, okay, so Mr. Tire talked to someone in local, like, electricity. Yeah. And he was saying up here in our area by Alec that there are only so many capacitors that can be ordered nationwide. And there's so little of them that they have to actually put people on priority lists. So the biggest towns get them first, and then littler towns, so let's say a bunch of capacitors break nationwide. They would triage and pick who gets it first. And there's only one company that's making them, and they're already backlogged like a year back. So, what do you do?
I don't mean to correct you. Do you mean transformers, not capacitors?
Well, the capacitors on transformers.
Well, to my knowledge, there ain't any.
I don't know, but these transformer pieces or whatever, special order, they make the fucking little transformer thing work. Okay. And if you don't have that shit, it doesn't run. Okay. So that's all I know. But he said these are special order parts, and you can't get them, and they have to delegate them out. So if multiple places were to go down all at once for whatever reason, because we're starting to get more and more solar weather, there's a big risk for solar weather next week. And the last time this thing was on the backside, it just popped off an X2.2 flare. So we're afraid as it turns back around again to front side alignment that we are going to get a big hit. We get one of these hits and it starts popping out everything, we're screwed.
What's that solar flare app you can have on your phone to watch that? Because I used to have it. Is there a few?
I've been using them more for Aurora alerts, but solarham.net is a good one. And I think they had an app.
I know I had an app on for 2012, and I forget what it was. I would know it when I seen it, though. It monitored all the Class X and all of.
Yeah, because we need to be watching that, because we need to start putting food away. We need to start to think about more ways to be self-sufficient, because if they're even going to cut us off from the bank, we got to start thinking about that. What do you do? Even if you deal in cash, what if businesses stop accepting cash, kind of like how they started doing during the pandemic? Oh, go ahead, Rick.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Just as an FYI, We had to cancel work today because their bank wouldn't give them the money to pay us.
There you go.
See, here we go. Like,
I
And
get
that's
paid
local,
tomorrow.
super local, super.
I get paid tomorrow. I'm going to see by 3 p.m. if it's in there or not, and I'm going to bet it's not.
Well, they
Wow.
went to withdraw money today, okay? And here's what happened, because everybody knows, and well, okay, everybody doesn't know because I'm not on.
It's breaking up.
She is breaking up right now. They would try to mess up her transmission.
Of course.
Okay, is that better? Are
Yes.
we
It
good?
is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know where she is in her
So-
house, and it's just being real picky. That's all.
I'm in the industry. So
Mhm.
what done to me is marijuana rose.
Yeah, you are
Yeah,
buffering.
you're
Hold
still
on, Red.
breaking up.
Hold on. It'll work in a second. I know what's happening.
Turn off the jammer, whoever's jamming her.
I know, because they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Just because she's going to come in with the good details and info right now.
I'm going to grab a Coke. Hang on a minute.
You guys really? Well,
Oh, yeah, we can. Oh, we could hear you. Dang, I had myself muted. Maybe when she comes back, it'll be better. That's all we can hope for. I need to get a Dr. Pepper myself.
She leave?
Wasn't working for a second, but I know she's going to come back.
Oh yeah, she'll try to get back in.
Yeah, because honestly, everybody's been having issues with these solar storms getting in the studio ever since they've been starting.
So there you go. We just heard it from somebody we know, first degree, that their paycheck wasn't in the bank.
Correct.
So there you go. I mean, what more do you want? You know, I mean,
I know. And I've been knowing since the pandemic, banks have been saying we don't have more than like $1,000 available cash to give an individual for withdrawal. You know, because when you think about it, most of what the bank does is, oh, there we go. Most of what the bank does is just numbers. It's not actually real money. If I transfer money to you, Tim, it's going to go digitally, you know?
I know that's why it's a crock of shit, because we can't send it in that time and hold your check. Bullshit. It's all numbers. You can't tell me you can't do that.
Yeah, it's not like actual dollar bills go from one bank to the other to cash it.
I think it's a matter of accounting, because they got to get their accounting balance sheets updated before they can start sending money. But that's my
True.
that's my opinion.
I mean, good point.
Yeah, but I'm
Hopefully
really
we'll get Red in here.
yeah. She's trying.
I know.
I'll have my check in the bank by 3 p.m. tomorrow, and I'll raise holy hell if it ain't, because I can't pay my bills, and thank God I shoved my extra overage in my checking account to Bitcoin, because you're gonna have to kill me to get it, and I'm not spending it because my paycheck should pay for my bills. That's not my fault. So we'll see.
Well, oh yeah, maybe we can hear you now. Come on, Red.
hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, so what happened is the local bank froze their fucking account, saying that it's a marijuana account, and that they froze all their funds and both their personal bank accounts as well as the business bank account. And then they had to go get a special account with the weed bank, and they've been being 3 days their funds transferring, and they'll be there tomorrow.
Wow.
Right. I hope so.
And here's a little unknown secret. So because they lagged them for marijuana, they don't have to insure or pay back their money,
Oh.
Who's that?
because the bank,
Oh,
because by law, they're not supposed to cover them to be FDIC covered or whatever, because marijuana is so federally illegal.
oh, see, that's where they're gonna fuck you. Yep.
And they can come seize your shit at any time, and they do.
Yep.
They
Wow.
do.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I'll be interested to see if other banks don't stop certain businesses from depositing and things like that.
See, that's that ESG bullshit. That's what they're going to do. They're going to target you if you don't do something they agree with, like that. Unbelievable. They're weaponizing money. That's the only thing that, well, it's been weaponized for a while, but now they're using it against us for sure.
But the fact
It's like
that
nuclear warheads against people, though, like legit.
the fact that they froze their personal accounts with the business account is what gets me. And they're frozen. They can't put money in, they can't take money out.
And who's going to release that?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to release that?
Same people that froze it.
But will they ever unfreeze it to you, though? You know what I mean? Like,
And my boy down the way just got checks that I had to go fight for. His check to the bank and they cash.
oh, so now they're playing the we don't cash check game again.
So she's saying they're doing it to her because of federally scheduled drugs.
Yes, correct. But a lot of banks have been playing this game with other things though lately too. So what I think she's getting at is that a larger cover excuse?
Right.
Because other banks will say even for things that are legal, they've been even seizing and freezing bank accounts over.
I'm telling you, the next thing is you're buying too much red meat, you're buying too much gas, you know, whatever they don't agree with. Your power, you're using too much power. Running your air conditioner. Really?
True. They already pick on people if you have solar and you're not putting it back into the grid.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
What's that?
Yeah.
They do?
They do. I mean,
said,
it's just
yeah,
getting
they
to
do.
getting to the point it's concerning.
Where I live, and you know this so hard, Tim, that they push green all across Colorado, you know, reduce your carbon footprint, be green.
Yep.
Tell me if they're pushing that so hard, why my county would make illegal composting toilets and anything that is not sewer fucking connected to the fucking sewer line.
Because you're off the grid.
Because I'm off grid. That's right.
Yep.
My county has now made it illegal to have a composting toilet or an incinerator toilet.
Then you know what?
That's insane.
You know what you do is you shit in a bucket and put it on the steps of the fucking mayor's office or something.
I mean, you got to do something at a certain point. It's just discouraging that you can't. They want you to be green and eco-friendly and think about the environment. And then you have ways that you can do that, creating natural compost, or even with the incinerator toilet, turning it into ash. But yet that's not good enough.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have incinerator toilets because they're a fire hazard, guys.
No shit. No pun.
Oh, and how is it? The little tiny ignition box that occurs that dries it out to ash?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you something about green, and she's right. The Colorado, especially Boulder, oh my God, if it's not green approved energy crap, they won't deal with it. They will insist on putting green energy rated shit in their businesses, their house. This is what I'm going to tell you. In my industry, it has at least doubled, if not tripled, repair bills. So the only thing green's going to do is cost you more green. I see it.
Yes.
It's ridiculous how much this shit is to fix.
Well, because the sewer that they're making us now get, you know what I mean, is a minimum of $35,000.
Oh, wow.
To get it dug, put in, everything. Because they're also now saying we're not allowed to have holding tanks anymore either.
What? I'd be done. My house would be done then.
Right.
That's what I have. I have a holding tank.
No holding tanks. It needs to be a percolated sand whatever thingy they call
I
it.
swear to God.
The septic, actual septic system. And they
Yep.
septic company told me straight up that's 25,000 and they do not finance.
And you don't have to get permits for yours like we do. So that's another.
Oh, I have to have a permit every year. No, mine is permitted and the permit department wants permit for my holding tank every year.
It's ridiculous. It's just,
I do have to submit that or else I'd be out of compliance and they could try to condemn my house.
is unlivable.
Yep, correct.
They'd shut it down. Inhabitable, whatever.
Now, I don't know if they'd accept incinerator toilet or not, or composting toilet.
How does that work? There's like a burner on the toilet and you.
Yeah, it's inside. There's like a little firebox inside
Really?
that once the little,
Yeah, they're totally off grid and they work on propane.
Yep, propane, or you can have electric models too.
You can have an electric model, but if we're talking about the off grid model,
it would be propane. Yep. And I would probably have propane here.
Double D batteries. The ignition is double D batteries. So then when you get your little thingy filled up in the bottom, because it will fill up, you don't burn it every time you go to the bathroom. It has a
capacity, yeah.
Yeah. And so then it'll fill that up and then you just push a little igniter button and it burns it all up right there.
And then you take out,
you don't dump it.
Yeah, you take out that little box of ash after you're done. And then you can throw it in the trash or whatever. Ash. Yep. It's just 100% ash afterwards.
What's wrong with that? It's a fire.
That's what I mean. That's really clean, to be honest. There's no chance of disease or bacteria or anything once it's ash.
But your furnace or your hot water heater isn't a fucking ignition hazard.
That's what I mean.
It's
exactly. It's the same type of technology in a smaller package.
Oh, it's a crock of shit. Like I said,
but you're actually incinerating something with it. You know what I mean? But like
turds.
Businesses have incinerators and and all that.
Yeah, no pun intended, really, Pamela. I keep slipping out. And that's not a pun either.
It's just ridiculous what they're pushing us to. And then if we don't have access to money, how are we going to move forward?
Nuisance law over here. They made the new nuisance law that if your neighbor thinks that you're a nuisance in any way, be it visibly or otherwise, they can complain about you. And that means that if like the neighbor says that my wood pile is a nuisance, they can come and give me a thing that says my neighbor's complaining about the blight of my wood pile and they want it cleaned up and give me so many days. And if I don't, supposedly now they have the ability to come onto my private property and remove any private property they believe is a nuisance on my property.
That doesn't sound right.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
And then you start cutting people off from money and start cutting people's livelihoods off. And then you start having neighbors snitching on neighbors. It's supposed to be the purge.
The purge, and it sounds like red flag laws. Anybody can say it's fucking nuts and they come get your gun.
Did you not hear about Biden coming out with that today? New enhanced background checks?
Yeah, what out? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So here, I'm just going to say this and shut up with this stuff. So if taking people's guns away is going to stop crime, then taking all the soldiers' rifles in military in a war is going to stop war, right?
Correct. Yep. If that's the thinking and the logic, then yes.
All the guns away from the military and there won't be any more wars.
Correct.
It just solved all the fucking future wars.
Yep. All of them.
Yep. Just take your guns away.
Yep. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
They won't find other things to create war with.
I mean, as me and Alicia have been saying for 5 years now, Chicago's supposed to be a gun-free fucking state, and there's more deaths by guns in Chicago than the entire world.
Yeah, because Chicago's a shithole, and they have.
But they banned all the guns, so nobody should be shooting anyone
in Cook County, right? It's all black on black gang killing each other. It's a gang war.
Mm-hmm. But if we ban guns, none of them get guns, right? But they all have guns.
Yeah, they'll stop killing each other if you take the guns away. Yeah,
if you just ban guns,
they're all totally banned in Chicago. So that's all problems, right?
Yeah, that's Cook County. That's all unconstitutional, but they do it anyway.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. That type of prohibition does not work. Like Casimiro said, it's going to be like the Hunger Games. It's going to be the elites have everything, us peon peasants have nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and we will have to fight for breadcrumbs.
Yep. In District 12 or whatever.
Yep.
district we're in, which will probably be a FEMA camp zone.
It probably will be.
Probably
They
saying,
start cutting off people's money and people's paychecks start not coming and banks start to collapse and money starts to, if we have a Weimar Republic.
Oh, and my hubby's dude that he works with today got freaking text messages from all of his banks saying, "Don't worry, your money is safe."
Ooh.
see, they're trying to get confidence back.
Right.
Interesting.
And it's like my husband was like, dude, the minute they say your money's safe, it ain't safe.
I'd be pulling it out.
Safe.
Right.
No, because they wouldn't be telling you that if it wasn't.
Yeah, it's safe because they got it in their fucking bank and you can't get it.
Correct.
Yep. It's perfectly safe.
They
They're
don't want people to start trying to pull out the funds right then.
Yeah. We're fucked.
They went and played Russian roulette with everybody's money and lost their ass, and now they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's right.
Correct. That is what happened. And that is what we're going to be dealing with in the fallout for some time. And I think other smaller institutions are going to start failing, as well as other businesses have started to fail too already. There's been quite a few business closures, etc.
I wonder if this is a PSYOP test when they finally do hit the reset button and see how people are going to react.
It could be.
Like Red with her, cannabis crap or whatever, and it's federally scheduled. So you're not going to get your money just to see how you react to this.
Correct. I think it could be getting people ready for the big Great Reset. Because, people question that this weekend. Like, is this beginning of the Great Reset?
I think it's a beta test. I really do.
They always do the first test before they drop the big hammer.
Yep.
We always have to remember that.
Right.
That is NWO, like, absolute game plan and MO. They have to test the water first, then they drop the hammer. That's why they everybody thinks they dropped the hammer during COVID. Nope, that was the beta test. We're sitting now waiting for them to drop the big hammer when they know they can do it again.
Yep. I agree.
Right.
Absolutely. So yeah, we definitely need to watch this week. I think that's where the true test is going to be told as we watch more things. Because like I said, people with Etsy accounts still haven't got their money. Shopify people haven't got their money. And there's thousands of dollars tied up in that. Millions, I would assume, Etsy wide.
Yeah, you're right. Because I had somebody else complaining about their XC whatever account thing. Because I've never been on there. I don't know how it works. But I guess like they pay Etsy or something and they get their
Etsy basically we were going to create something like that with Mel, is to basically have our own marketplace. Okay, so what you do is you put like your goods, like let's say when you were making soap, right, G? You would put your soap on there and they'd allow you to open up a soap store and build a storefront on their website, and people were able to process their payments right on the website. So it'd be like, go into your store, pick out your items, go to checkout. You would get an email to start shipping and sending it to them. And then Etsy sends you the money that people purchase your items through. And then they take a percentage off of the top.
Sounds like Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Very similar, but they let you have it.
One girl said that she can't get none of her Etsy money.
Yep. Tied up. Yep.
She's been trying.
Everybody got emails on Saturdays stating that they weren't going to get it.
Yeah, she said she's been trying to get it over to another account or something. I don't know. She was trying to explain it. And she was like, but the bottom fucking line is they won't give me my fucking money.
Yep.
Because the bank that Etsy used was SVB as their checking account.
Bank, she said her bank literally told her they don't have to give her anything for mom because that's not actually money.
That is true, because it's not money, it's just numbers.
Yep. And she
that's
said,
scary.
like, up until, like, literally a day ago when she was trying to get money, she has done this a bazillion times. She said, like, transferred money from her Etsy over to the bank. Like, no problem.
But
and
it's
then gone in
Etsy's
and
bank that
withdrawn
went
money.
down. Yeah, and the Federal Reserve seized Etsy's bank.
Right.
So they used SVB as a checking account. So right now, the Federal Reserve has all funds tied up.
Yep.
They said depositors will eventually get their money, but when, they didn't say.
And they don't have no timetable on that. So, you know, I mean, it could be before
whenever.
they die.
It's ridiculous.
It could be. You know, I would hope they would try to get these people their money quickly.
Yeah, because they're gonna have a problem. I mean,
See, that's
Are
what I'm
they, though,
saying.
Tim?
We're gonna have to come up with either some
Are they
Casimiro.
gonna
You have a good
problem,
question.
or are they just simply going to be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, we're going to send you out a check?
Yeah, and then the check never comes. The check's in the mail.
No,
We've
the
heard
check
that
will
before.
come, but the part that they won't tell you is what you owe after they send you that check.
well, yeah,
Not even that. Will you even be able to cash it somewhere?
right.
Right.
They're gonna push.
You know, he's got a good question. Casimiro's got a good question. What happens if it happens to us? How will we be able to pay rent, etc. afterwards? So that's the point where we're trying to say we need to start saving money away, start
That's
coming
what
up with
needs
groups
to
of
be done.
people to try to, you know, be a safety net for each other or something, because I'm telling you, we're going to be screwed if it starts happening. Exactly, Pam. They're going to put us in the FEMA camps if we can't pay our rent and stuff. Look.
come arrest you for your total.
Yeah, they're going to
Well-
have to start putting people somewhere because, I mean, homelessness is rampant throughout the United
Those
States right now.
15-minute cities.
True.
What, the 15 minutes?
15-minute cities. Yeah, they'll start putting people in those 15-minute cities.
That's
Saying
that's
if you
why
can't
they're trying
afford
to
your
shove us out of off-gridding and what we're doing here, because it's driving people into the city.
True.
Well, you're
It is true
you're just-
because, you know, they can't cut it out in rural areas, and then you move them closer to the city, so they have all these amenities and feel so good, and you know, you can walk to a grocery store within 15 minutes and everything you need, much like China is doing with these food pods and nutrition pod areas, that they have to be 15 minutes within a town of like 3,000 or more people or 10,000 or more people. You have to have a hub where they can go get rations.
Right. And the rumor mill states that it's not going to be an option. It's going to be like everybody's going to be in a 15-minute city, and they're going to have to be on a schedule. So like this house is allowed to go shopping, one person 15 minutes to leave the house, and you're going to be monitored.
sounds like a prison.
Yes.
If they monitor everybody, though, less chance for riots, less chance for public unrest.
Less chance that you have time to get together with anybody and fucking revolt.
True that. You ain't wrong, though. Like Handmaid's Tale, have us all
Yep.
locked up with the
We
eyes
restrict
watching us.
everybody to a fucking schedule. Anybody you know won't be on the same schedule as you. You won't see them out.
Right.
And then you're restricted to 15 minutes. And then, as Scarlett and I have been researching, these chips that they want to put in you connect to your nervous system and tell them everything.
Yeah, if you were lying or telling the truth, everything. Yep.
Yep, your blood pressure, when you pissed, if you've had sex, what your heart rate is.
Oh, I meant to tell you this, Scarlett. So, some New Zealand or Australian lady that fills in for Alex Jones was talking to this dude that tied 5G into the shots, where the shit they're putting in the shots,
Yep.
like nanotech, and it's supposed to
Yep.
take all your biometrics and tied to 5G, and then they're going to pay you by what these nanobots are telling your biometrics.
That's not new.
Yep. Basically, they're going to mine it. They talked about this at the last Mobile World Congress and how that was the
They
next
did.
step was big biomedical data.
No
They
shit.
did. And me and Scarlett, what was it, Scarlett? 3 years ago, did the big thing about the AI and the creating
Now that
the
was
new person.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago with that one. But the one with they were going to use biomedical was last year. But yes, and we talked about Hanson Robotics with
Yep.
what's her name?
Yep.
Hans and Sophia. Yeah, those two.
Yep. And then how they were going to tie together into the AI, and that was tying in together to like a movie like
The
Gamer.
cloud, and this is why they want an Internet of Things in the cloud, because once you create an Internet of Things in the cloud, that opens up to create something like this nanotech that can read and then send the information, you see. So you got to set up the acceptance system first, which was the cloud, and then the AI, which can aggregate the data, and then now you need the subjects, because they said big biomedical will give them so much information to tailor supposed treatments and drugs and blah 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 blah. But yes, the next step is they want everybody's biomedical data real time.
And that's what's in the shots. That's what this guy said.
Yep, that is true. And they came out with that shit last year, maybe even the year before that, at Mobile World Congress.
Well, I knew 5G was going to get tied into this somehow because it all correlated, but I didn't think it'd be like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because of the frequency that it works on, you can send 5G data across long distances. So that was always the goal, because 2G, 3G, 4G can't send over as long as a distance as 5G. 5G is like what we use for radar. So it can send it over quite large areas.
So we're going to be slaves to biometric fucking payment system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me and Scarlett said that like over a year ago about the farming us, like you wouldn't like a game, except they're going to do it through the Bitcoin and stuff connected to the nanobytes and the microchips that they're putting in us.
Yeah, it's going to be blockchain.
Mhm.
We're going to be the blockchain.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the scary
And
part
they'll
about
be able
crypto.
to
Why a
tell
lot
if
of
you're
us,
working, not working, what
Yep.
you're doing, what your heart rate is, what your breathing is, fucking
Yep.
everything, all the things.
all the things.
I'm never going to the doctor as long as I live. Fuck him.
I know. It's scary because it's like, honestly, that's where
And
it's going.
and we have reports of like people that I know in like bigger cities across, in different areas. But like Orlando, Florida, for instance,
Mhm.
they're installing shit that is going to like facial recognition, and then like the dairy cases and stuff, all getting these little things on them.
Oh,
that
they already
lock
have
you.
them. A
Really?
lot of places already have them. And forget
Yeah.
these self-checkouts. Man, one day I scanned something, turned around, went back to the cart and was holding it, talking to my kid, turned back around, and that machine alerted the person to come over and replayed what I did with audio
and
back on the
watched it
screen.
video.
Yes. That's the little
Mhm.
self-checkout at Walmart. And they said they can scan your card. If you're in a little self-checkout at Walmart and you pull it out of your wallet, they can scan all your other cards in your wallet.
Yep.
They've got RFID scanning in them, Tim, where they can scan all the other cards in your wallet to make sure. And because somebody had got a charge on their card, because I guess it didn't go through at the Walmart or whatever, but because they had scanned the other cards in their wallet, they charged that card with it.
Well, they can't scan mine because I got the blocking wallet. So
Oh, the RFID, but they say even if you open it and have it where it's like anywhere it could,
really?
yeah, it can scan it.
Whoa.
Yes.
Huh.
So I'm telling you, like this, it's the next level that they're using just even in stores, because Walmart straight up said, if theft doesn't get deterred, we're shutting down hella stores. We're not playing. So people need to either stop stealing or we're shutting down Walmarts nationwide.
Well, how about you drop your price back down to
I'm
a
just saying,
decent
though, you
fucking
ain't never
price
lied,
than
though. For
Walmart?
real, we need a break in this life. Like I said, they need to start paying us more. Why can't we deserve $30 and $40 as a minimum starting wage
And
when
I'm
shit costs
sorry,
$1 bajillion?
and I'm sorry, but you're worried about fucking theft. Then you need to bring your cashiers back, because you expect me to go and fucking ring myself out with no training, but you give your cashiers a week and a half of it.
Right. You ain't lying, though.
Well, not to mention they took bags away.
And I also feel like if I've got to go and pick out my own groceries and ring my own self out, I want a paycheck when I'm done, bitch. Your cashiers get one.
Right. You ain't lying, though.
Well, in my opinion, shoplifting's gone up in the bagless states like this one because people are carrying their products in their arms. And how does a guy know whether you bought it or not walking out the door?
No,
Right.
nobody knows anymore, Tim. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
so they're
right.
fucking
Because what is
idiots.
that? What is that, Tim? We're getting rid of fucking bags, and you have to
Yeah.
pay 10 to 20 cents for a plastic fucking
Yeah,
bag
well,
now.
Yeah, well, you got homeless people starving to death and other problems, but we're saving
you.
Colorado because we're not selling plastic bags. So fucking
You're
reelect me.
damn right, Tim.
Yes, I'm running
Damn
for office.
right.
That's right.
That is irritating, though.
And you
Stupid.
can't get bags, and you can't buy cageless eggs.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, they changed that on the first.
Eggs
really?
that are caged in Colorado. That's why our egg prices jump so much.
Oh,
Yeah, because you guys can
And
only
why
get
the
certain
egg
types of
shells
eggs
are
now.
so
They have to be certified cage-free farms.
but you can
Yep.
make people homeless and live in the streets. But God forbid you buy
Cageless eggs. Yeah, you buy eggs from a caged bird. Yeah.
a stupid.
And cageless doesn't actually mean cageless. It just means they put them in a big ass barn
or
big
a
and
bigger
shove them all in a
cage.
big ass barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's no different than a cage. It's
Big
just a bigger cage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when they say free range, they're still keeping them in a big ass barn or a really big cage the size of a barn.
Yep,
You know-
basically. They just be using like a pole barn and don't nothing really be in there anyway. Like,
Because here's a little dirty secret that chicken people don't really talk about, okay? But if you have free range chickens, you don't have fucking eggs because you can't find them bitches.
mine are nice and actually go lay them where they're supposed to. I don't have that problem. I really don't. I know you do, but I don't. And mine free range all over my 3 acres, and they bring them back all the time. Now, they might find a place to hide them all together, but they've only done it in the tree next to the coop and in the fire pit. So I've been
Yeah.
able to find the little places, but other than that, it does happen.
But I mean, that's a true story, like actual true free
But
range birds.
mine were not free. But to be fair, mine were not free range to begin with. They were raised
Right.
in a coop and run. So I think that's why they feel most comfortable
That's
laying
your
and
difference
then
right
go back
there.
out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Because that is true. Because I will give the fact that they had 1 year inside a coop.
See, and mine never do that. So
But the new
I
birds
can't-
I've gotten never were really in the coop and have been free range
yeah,
from day one, and they do.
The flock now.
That's true too. So I mean, yeah. So I think that has a little bit to do with it.
Because my first set of chickens that I did get to coop up and shit, cooped up every night. I never had a problem.
Right.
But then when I got new chickens that hadn't been like that, they won't.
Yep. Yeah, might at least do. That's why I want to hatch some out this year. I actually have to go. I'm going to go tomorrow and get a new incubator and maybe a computer and then go from there. So I got an incubator, but I didn't get an egg turner.
My other buddies, my Mexican buddies, I don't want to give out names, but my
Right.
Mexican buddies,
Jose and Jose.
they have been unable to cash their fucking IRS tax return check for 4 fucking days now.
Really? See, y'all, ain't nobody got no cash.
Mm.
No banks got cash. I'm telling you.
They
This is
locked it down.
concerning. And this is like tax season too. People take out a lot
That's
of
what I
cash at this time of
mean.
year.
They got their tax return already and they can't cash it.
Yeah, it's a
See,
bank
that's
holiday.
terrible.
They locked everything down without telling you they did.
Yep.
Man, I hope I get paid tomorrow.
Colorado is a blue state, Pam.
Yeah, Colorado sucks.
Yeah, Colorado is the
and-
Democratic state.
My other friend messaged me this morning, and she said that her bank took her IRS and Colorado state refund checks and said that she had to wait for them to clear deposit.
Yep.
The government checks. Now,
Yep.
come on now. Now, the government shit should clear
No, they've
immediately.
never done that.
Immediately.
Ever.
That's what I mean. They
Yeah.
need to be cleared immediately, and they're not, and that is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, they're never going to
And-
clear because the government's bankrupt.
Yeah. Yeah.
what-
It's got something is definitely going on because,
Yeah.
like I said, locally people are being affected.
Mhm.
We're already seeing it.
And that's what
Bank
I'm
of the
saying. You know, if
West,
you can do things like, you know, me and Red are doing, like I said, having a few little chickens. I don't have to pay for eggs. I also have something I can barter. You know, having a trade, knowing how to build something.
You know what they're doing? Stopping people from moving money. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, because they don't want
Yes.
anybody to move money.
They're stopping moving money. That's exactly what they're doing.
Mhm.
And it's dangerous.
Now that I just talked about it, I think there's more going on and a run on the bank, and they're not going to cover it. So they can't stop it per se. So they're going to stop the movement of money by what they're doing. Makes perfect sense.
Right.
Now that we've been talking about this for 2.5 hours and all weekend, that's what they're doing.
That is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're going to stop. It's that way they can control how much money's being moved on any certain day through the stock market or through other
Like,
means.
I didn't think I was going to have much to talk about when I came on here.
I know.
And then it was
Yep.
like just in the last day, these people have literally come to me and been like, this is going on with my shit.
And that's
Yep.
why Scarlett and I waited a day, because just for that very reason, because the shit
We
was
didn't feel the fallout was yet.
yeah, exactly. The shit's just started hitting the fan today, in my opinion, and it just
Yep. Well, I think the shit started hitting the fan within that 5-hour period yesterday or Sunday night when Yellen went from "we're not helping" to "we're helping," and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, you just
And
started.
we needed the markets to open on Monday to reflect from Friday.
Mhm.
Then we needed to see what happened today because that would have been 2 days open. And that would kind of show you where they're bouncing. Now, the rest of the week we need to watch because I think you're right, Tim. By Friday, this next Friday, we might get news that shake shit until Monday again.
Yep.
Conveniently into the weekend when everything's closed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that bitch almost started the French Revolution War again by what she said.
Yeah.
I think the backlash was instantaneous.
Well, because people's paychecks and stuff were tied up into this.
Yeah.
It wasn't just rich folks who did in the end just lose. Okay, if it was like, you know, just like hedge fund bros, I don't think as many people would care. But because it was like average person, you know, who's selling stuff on Etsy and Shopify and little entrepreneurs and other groups,
Yep.
you can't just let them hang.
And for a lot of people, payday's on Friday.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people didn't get their checks. Probably still haven't gotten it if your bank was tied to SVB.
Right. Something's going on. They're stopping the velocity of money because they don't want to run on the bank. So they're
Well, because people would start running on the banks. That's why they started this process, COVID. Okay, remember when we had the coin shortage?
Yep.
Okay, and all that. They started taking the money out of circulation right then, you guys. That's why they started doing all the digital and delivery and all that.
So let me just say on that coin shortage thing, according to Colorado, we still in that coin shortage thing. Because we still have signs in our, I don't know if you're seeing them, Tim, up where you are, but where we are over here, we still have them signs up that are like, oh, due to the, federal coin shortage.
Right. Yeah, we do.
Oh, see, we don't.
I got to go to the arcade.
Yeah, according to Colorado, we're still in a huge coin shortage.
Yep.
See, because I'm telling you, they're taking the money out of circulation. And y'all got the mint there, don't you?
And this is
the
what
mint in
kills me the
Denver?
most. Wait, here. This is what kills me the most. We have a coin shortage. Pay us 20 cents for your bags.
Right.
But
Right,
we in a
and-
coin shortage.
Right. And they started
We're
taking
not
the
even
money
supposed
out
to have
then.
coins. We're not even
And like
supposed
I
to have
said-
coins, but they want us to pay for fucking plastic bags with coins.
When my mom was helping when we got our house and she needed to pull out a few $1,000s cash, her bank straight up told her, we don't keep money like that anymore. What do you mean? It was like $2,000. It wasn't even like that much money. It was a very little amount that they were like, we don't keep that much money. And if you need that much money, you have to call a day in advance to receive that money. And then you can come the next day and receive it. Since when do banks not keep even $1,000 on hand?
Yeah,
Let's really think about that.
And I don't mind throwing Alamosa Walmart under the bus, okay? Because I'm gonna
Okay,
right
let's
now.
throw them under the bus. Almost
So
Walmart.
room.
Shame
Are you
on you.
ready? Alamosa Walmart has not been cashing any checks because you know how they're supposed to be a check cashing station.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay, even cashing now personal handwritten checks up to $200.
Oh, yep. And they cash payroll and federal checks, supposedly.
Right. Correct.
They're
So Alamosa Walmart has not been cashing checks for over 4 months.
Mm.
Hmm.
Which means they can't get access to the cash. Or they're not producing enough cash in their cash room to do it.
Well, you ain't gonna tell me they ain't producing enough cash in their cash room. I damn well know that ain't true.
Well, if everybody's swiping a card, there's no cash.
Right.
Yeah,
All
that's
digital.
true too.
Yep, that's how you do it.
Mhm.
Not that they're not making money there, because we know they're making buku bucks. But if everybody goes in and swipes and taps and does all that shit, then there is no dollar bills.
Mm-mm.
And there's not as many. And if somebody comes in with a $10,000 check a few times, that might wipe out your whole cash room now.
Yep.
And so we got to start thinking about this. If all banks start limiting us to this really small level, how do we function?
I don't know.
I mean, we really got to start thinking of backup plans, food, especially bill reserves. I know it's hard for everybody to save money, but we got to start thinking of something, because if us and everybody around us is not able to pay their bills, us and everybody around us is going to need to depend on programs to do it, which means us and everybody get it. What are we going to do?
Starve.
I mean, that's where we're at.
Mhm.
I know, isn't it terrible, you guys? Like,
I mean,
it's really awful to think about, because, like I said, most people are struggling paycheck to paycheck. Most people do not have a nice cushion nest egg reserve right now, especially after going through the pandemic and the next recession.
They just robbed us of it for 2 years.
Yeah, I know, because we all had to survive through the pandemic.
Yeah,
and people didn't have jobs.
With work.
Yeah, and people's jobs were shut down, and industries were limited, and jobs were limited in what you could do. Businesses closed down everywhere.
Well,
Go ahead, Tim.
No, it's okay. I don't want poor me or nothing, but so divorce, I was financially destroyed. Then I had COVID. I had to file bankruptcy, then moved to Florida, all those expenses, moved back here, and now dealing with inflation. So I've been slammed 4 times.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one. I don't want to. That's
what I mean. Like, I think a lot of people.
Yeah, you're literally knocking the shit out of me. And not only me, everybody else. And it's like, how are you supposed to survive this?
Yeah.
You can't. Like I said, even right now, to even like new people buying a mortgage, like I was lucky to get in at the last minute I did. People now are paying twice as much as I did for a percentage rate, which means, at least a third more payment, which then edges a lot of people out of housing. There's already a housing shortage across the country. The rental market is astronomical everywhere, no matter where you go, even small towns. Now there's still some apartments around me that go for like 2 bedrooms for like $675 and stuff. But there's also other apartments that want like $1,900.
That's about right.
So it's just like, and some, if you're in the city, go even higher.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to rent a house nowadays, it's insane. If you need a 3-bedroom or more, you're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. And then they want you to prove 2 to 3 times the income to get into place. So some places you'd have to be making $10,000 a month just to make it.
Right now, where I am in the middle of freaking nowhere, butt crack, Colorado, they say like the poorest county in all of Colorado.
Bruh, when I went to the visitor center that was up by Fort Collins, right? And I stopped and they were like, "Oh, where are you traveling in Colorado?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to the San Luis Valley." And they were like, "Where?" "The San Luis Valley." They looked at the map and then was like, "Oh."
Like
Oh,
they were
shit.
sad for me to be traveling there. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's Fort Collins, though. They're a bunch of assholes up there.
I know they are, but I'm just saying, like, as far as that's how everybody feels in Colorado about the valley, though, to be honest.
Yep. hmm And we are supposedly like one of the poorest counties in all of Colorado. And we have places going up for rent around me for literally $1,500 a month, and they want first month's rent.
I saw 2,300 in Crestone.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But around me personally,
Right.
1,500 first month, last month, and security deposit and pet deposit if you have one.
Who can afford that?
I'm buying me a microbus. Fuck this shit, man.
Yeah, you need to get you a little tiny house. I got some room up here for a little tiny house, Tim.
Oh yeah. You know how Colorado is doing the whole tiny
You can make
house
you a little
movement?
shabbin'. Tim.
Yeah, don't tempt me, because
Right,
I'm already
Tim?
looking to see what I'm.
Come on with it. Come on with it. I've been telling you for years to come on with it.
Well, it's probably going to happen here real quick.
You know what, Tim? You know how Colorado's been pushing the tiny house movement all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. My county just turned around and said that you had to have a minimum of 1,200 square foot or they won't permit you.
Well, then you don't get a permit and take them to court, because I'm sure you'll win it. They can't tell you what you can do with your fucking property, especially putting basically a trailer on it.
Oh, that's
Well, they
another
got
thing
so
in my
many rules
county.
against trailers now, though. You can't even, in her county, you can't even live in one longer than 6 months now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all bullshit. That's because they're losing tax revenue. That's the only reason.
Yep.
No, I don't think. I've heard battles where they had that. Somebody put a tiny house, like someone like me, on their kid's property in the backyard, and they tried to ticket them and take them to court, and they lost. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure if you do fight it, you can. But then you got to deal with that process of fighting it.
Well, you know, and like Scarlett and I have researched, and we know too, like here in Colorado, for instance, we still have the homestead law. And that states that if you've gotten mail and you have been uncontested for a year, which means nobody's fucking giving you fines, nobody's fucked with you, nothing like that, you own the property. It's yours.
Yep. That's true.
Not paying for it, but yeah.
You know,
Yep,
and here I am, I've paid for it, and I've lived on this square uncontested about everything I'm doing for almost 7 years. Let's go to court, bitch.
Right. Yeah, fuck them. That's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous where we're getting.
Now my neighbor can complain, and you feel like you're going to come through my private property gates and roll into my property and be able to take whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's got to end too, because people are going to start chopping hands off. It is going to start to be real. When people don't have money and then their property, the last thing that they really have gets contested, it's about to be on like Donkey Kong.
That's right.
Well, I'm not mentioning any names, but I've heard it repeated by many people here in my general area that, you know, I know what's going to happen with this new nuisance law. Going to get enforcement men shot and killed.
Yeah, I was gonna refer kind of to that, but yeah. Yep. You're gonna have grain from the hillbillies pretty much, so that's a safe way to put it.
Yeah, because you know what, and I'm not even trying to be this person, but you're not coming on my property.
Well, try going on government property and act like assholes and see what happens.
Right.
Like I said, they're taking the last little things that people have, and a lot of people, all you got is your money, your word, or your property. And so if they take all that away, what do people have to lose at that point?
Nothing.
Most people are not, like I said, up to absorb that type of loss right now.
No.
I would say at least 60% of Americans are not set up to absorb that type of loss right now. That puts everybody in a real delicate balance.
That will put people on immediate defensive and anger, because trust me, from somebody that lost everything, when it's happening to you, it's like like you said, you got nothing to lose. Like, no.
You got nothing to lose. Yeah, that's all you've got in this life already. A lot of people have already been destroyed by the last few years, lost money in investments, et cetera, or their businesses, or had to switch jobs, their job shut down, whatever it is.
Move out of state, fucking whatever, man. Yeah.
And now you've got people waning in that balance again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't cash their paychecks, aren't getting their money. You know, all serious situations.
A lot of people are making homes out of connexes, actually.
True.
Yep. And they're trying to make that illegal in my county too.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Affordable housing? Nah, you don't need that. Nope.
Right.
Fucking unbelievable.
Well, who needs affordable housing when we can charge you $1,000 bajillion for you to rent our property?
Right.
And we have no true, everybody always wants to complain about rent controls, but the market value is not indicative out of anywhere in reality.
No.
Not relative
It's not based on what people are making or what average salaries are or anything.
Nope. It's what they can get.
True.
It's not what
And everybody just incrementally raises, so then that makes market rate.
that's like pricing food for whatever you can pay for it. Well, that's market. No, asshole. I can't live without food. So I'm going to pay whatever I got to pay because you're an asshole and I need a house to live in or an apartment. So I got to pay it. So it's not market driven. That's bullshit.
Yeah, or however you're doing. Even if you have to build your house, well, you got to buy the material and the lumber. And if that goes up, well, you see what I like. Every single instance, it goes back to we're just trying to find ways to live.
You know what's going to be next is water.
Water's already a big deal. People already get overcharged for municipal water.
This is great.
Especially here in Colorado, water is a big deal.
Well, yeah, I get that with the Colorado River, all that, but
yeah, you got to have like your water rights out there and all that shit.
But what I'm saying, they're getting. Oh, I know that's going to be a big war, but they're treating it like oil, I guess, right?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, if they charge $5 a gallon for water, what are you going to do? Not pay it? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't not pay it. I mean,
the essentials, and I hate that word, but the essentials for sustaining life, you're going to pay what you need because whatever it is, because you have to live.
Right.
So this all market bullshit is bullshit. It's not market. It's what they can get away with charging you.
Well, yeah, because they all set the rates to begin with, and then it's all an agreement on how much people will pay, etc. So it's like there's ways to not charge as much because we all just agree on what we pay each other to do said jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's that simple. We could set the price lower, and everybody could set prices lower.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. But nobody wants to do that now because everybody wants to be continuously greedy. So,
and they do it by occupancy. But if they only build so many apartments and 1 million people are moving here, then they're always going to be occupied. So that makes rent.
Yeah, and if you don't ever build something that multiple people can get into, and they always call these mixed use developments and all these mixed association housings, but like the one that got burned during the riots here in Minneapolis, the 7-story building. There was only 10 units out of the whole like 56 unit building that actually were considered affordable housing. The rest were like penthouses and very expensive swanky apartments. So it's like half of the time when they say they build something that, people could move into, they don't. They need to start making tiny house villages and trailer court villages that you could put in parking lots and shit, and just start providing temporary housing till people can find more permanent housing, until they start building more permanent housing.
That's what I'm going to end up in, a tiny home or a freaking van camper thing. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with those.
No.
Honestly,
No.
Nothing wrong with living in a van. You could even outfit a van.
Yep.
That type of deal.
Yeah.
And
there's many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're funny, Red.
Whatever, we have one. I'm not scared to say it.
It's gonna happen.
I know. That's what I was like pulling from personal experience.
Yes, I am.
I know you are. But yeah, people are going to have to come up with these alternative means of housing
Yeah.
and multi-generational housing or multi unit family housing because it's in people who actually work together because otherwise you're not going to make it anymore.
Yep.
And that's called
Community, a village.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely think, we could probably wrap it up here, but I think that,
I was going to say
that's what we got to start looking towards is coming up with backup plans. Because if this starts just crumbling more and more and more,
it's going to.
where's that going to lead? And it's going to, but
Yeah.
when? But we've already seen the first taste now.
It's going to start.
Now, have they been able to soothe it enough yet? We don't know.
It's going to start slow, and it's going to come down like an avalanche, and then everybody's going to go, "What the fuck?" Watch.
True. And they're going to wonder how we got here, but it was a slow burn.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Like I said, learning about that act and knowing that basically if they would have enforced these few rules that were added on to this bill, we would not be in this position.
I got to get the food dehydrator like this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Yep. Yeah, she wanted to start dehydrating stuff, and
goats
it's a good idea.
Having their babies and freaking Malibu with my triplets.
Mm.
Dude, do you know how much milk this doe just gave me in one milking?
I'm sure a lot.
How much did we just get? Peanut gallery.
Yeah, peanut gallery. Give us the answer.
Peanut gallery.
Damn it, peanut gallery.
Peanuts.
Peanut gallery.
Hey, how much milk do we just get from Malibu? Really? Dude, I swear to Pete.
Just what's a killer husband?
What? How much milk do we just get from Malibu?
You finally listened.
I'm live on air asking you a question. 48 ounces. Thank you. So still, she is nursing triplets and still just gave us 48 ounces of milk.
See, that's a lot.
On one boob.
That's decent.
Wow.
On one boob.
That's good.
Yeah, because we have to milk her one boob because all three of her triplets who are fat as crap are all nursing on just one boob.
Oh. They're weird. There's two. Why couldn't if I was them, I'd be tag teaming and leaving the other one in the dust.
Right? That's what I'm saying. But no, they don't like that other nipple.
Must be lopsided.
Oh. But yeah, that's actually quite a bit. Because, I mean, you figure a quart, is so many ounces. So it's at least like 2 quarts, a little less than 2 quarts. Quart and a half.
And that's just her night milk. She gave the same amount pretty much this morning. So that's
half
she gets
gallon.
Yeah.
And that's pretty decent from a goat feeding up 300 goats.
Yeah.
And so you got to save that. Yeah. Anything that anybody can start saving, even your leftovers. I've seen people do it with their dehydrator, with their leftovers even.
Yep. And also remember that Malibu is still very early in her milk production because these babies are only 3 days old.
Oh, true that. Yeah, so she probably will get even more milk.
Goes up as the babies get older.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, so she started off 48 ounces out of one side. That's insane. Let alone doing that twice a day.
Yeah, you gotta save that.
And nursing triplets that aren't needing to be supplemented in any way. So I'm like, no, dude, I have to get that dehydrator because her alone, she's overwhelmed already. And I wanted to hydrate it and powder it.
Whatever people can do, like I said, you can dehydrate your leftovers and put them in there and then rehydrate them in water. All types of things you can do.
Like your soups, especially like your soup, man, because you know I'd be making a lot of soup, G. And I love my soup, but I could always dehydrate the soup, and then you just, now it's just like, the soup that you buy in like the bags, and you just
The
reconstitute.
packaged soup.
Yeah,
Just add water.
yeah, or milk,
We all are going to
whichever.
have to get creative to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if these companies are like food production companies that have these money shortages and things?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We need to start thinking about that. Oh, you
Yep.
almost did you? Hold on. What were you going to say, Tim?
Nothing. I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
And
I definitely think we need to be watching that.
egg glassing. I would highly recommend
Oh, yeah,
that to
water
anybody
glassing
right now.
eggs.
Water glass them eggs. Smart
Right.
move. They'll last for up to, what is it, like 10 years?
Well, you can
Water
check.
glass?
It's like a year or two. Water glass is like a year or two that you could keep them.
Wow.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
Hmm.
So, I would highly recommend that. I mean, just simple, little, easy, quick things that people could do in city, out of city, on grid, off grid. You could be water glassing eggs. You could be dehydrating milk, even if it's not like fresh milk, like I'm talking about. And go to the store, buy extra cow's milk, buy an extra gallon this week, because next week your $4 milk might be $9 milk that you can't afford.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too. A lot of things have edged people out from certain things that they're buying. A lot of people aren't buying as many meats,
Nope.
and other things because the cost was prohibitive. So
Yep.
we need to just be ready and waiting for all of this. Like I said, we're gonna wrap this up and get out of here because we've been on there almost 3 hours. So I know me and Tim are ready to wrap it up, but we need to start doing this, you guys. We'll talk more about this on Red Show, and we'll talk more about this. We'll try to update everybody with another roundtable show here pretty soon, especially if we start seeing things tank.
I think Sunday night, I don't know what Red's got planned, but Sunday night or Monday night to do this again, because there's going to be plenty to talk about. For sure.
Oh, yeah, we could do it probably Monday night because Sunday night is Red Show.
Right, that's what I said. I don't know what she's going to talk about, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Whatever. So
yeah, we can make some time
to come join, Tim.
Okay. Well,
yeah, you can come join on the show. We can take some time to update everybody on that.
I like being a smartass in the chat room, though. That's fun.
Hey, we love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that.
Oh, it's fun. Reminds me of Freedom Mars Radio back in the day, because that's what I used to do.
Right?
Yeah. Then I got a show out of it.
Oh.
So whatever.
We always have fun, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it's all about fun.
It's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should talk about this, give everybody an update, give a new perspective, and we might find a few more new things out during the week, because this is an evolving story at this point.
Right.
This is only going to continue to get worse as things go on.
Yes.
Especially depending on how they plan on working both banks. Because, if we're just going to start covering banks and paying everything and just creating money out of nowhere, billions of dollars for them, why can't we get billions of dollars?
Right.
I'm just saying. Like, if they can do it for them, why can't they do it for us?
I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we all are going to be the ones that suffer while they get all their bills paid.
Well, the big difference is because they get bailed out and they keep the money on their balance sheet. They give it to us, we spend it, and that's velocity of money, and shit's going to go through the roof. You'll see inflation like you never saw before.
That's true too, because people would be spending more. But the economy was doing pretty well when everybody was spending money using stimulus checks.
Well, if everybody spent like 10 or 20% on stuff that they usually don't and save the rest, we'd be okay. But they know people won't do that. They'll spend it as fast as they get it. That's
right.
That's true.
That's why they don't do it. But I'm trying to give them an excuse. But no, the real reason they do it is because they're a bunch of assholes and they want all the money for themselves. And that's not true capitalism. That's actually fascism. And capitalism should have, just like this bank failure. Sorry, you fucked up your bank. You ran it wrong. You go bye-bye. That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saved my business and my ass.
Nobody else would be bailed out.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
If this was our business, they'd be like, "Oh, tough titties."
That's the way it is. It's a risk you took.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's the way the
it's a
cookie
gamble.
crumbles.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we'd all be told. Legit. Like, but yet they get a free pass. And so, we just got to watch them and keep on track and
And we pay
stay
for
on top of their moves. But
Right.
we
Right.
pay for it. That's what I don't like.
I agree,
I
Tim.
don't like it either.
Taxpayer pays for it.
We all pay for it. Yeah.
Well, wait, none of
Whether
these
we want to or not.
JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all of them are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now everybody's going to take their money out of these regional banks and shove it into there. So watch how behemoth they get. And then for sure, they're going to be too big to fail. But if the system gets destroyed, it ain't going to matter how many dollars you have.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because it's going to end up like Weimar Republic.
Yep. If there's run on the banks, I don't give a shit if you have all the money in the world, you're going to run out.
Yeah, when you have to take a wheelbarrow of cash to buy a loaf of bread. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Farmer Germany, right? Yep, that's exactly right. Inflation. It's gone.
Yeah, when you get that inflation up that high, nobody will be able to stop it at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'd love to talk about it again as soon as Monday night, or maybe we can just give it a week. But I think it should all depend on what's going on, because I think it's going to be.
Let's play it by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch it. If we need to break in sooner or whatever, we will. Just know that we're going to be watching it, everybody, and that we're going to keep you updated. Just bring our perspectives, because it does affect everybody, whether we realize it or not, just because all of these companies connected are like a spider web.
Right. Yep. It's all connected.
And at the core of it is the Federal Reserve, which we can't trust a lot of their decisions anyway.
Well, people should do their homework on who that company really is.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot is known. They only really say it had some investors and, so it's like there's more to this.
Yeah, it's all top secret who owns it.
Yeah, need to know basis, but nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So we'll get back to you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight, everybody. We appreciate you guys on our FRN Roundtable show. So we appreciate you. I hope you appreciated this type of show. We hope to do another one very soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then make sure you
dare to be different, dare to be you, dare to learn to love yourself unconditionally.
Yep, we'll be on Red Show Journey in Freedom on Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain. So join us then. And from the land of 10,000 lakes, good night, universe.
Bye.